Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on the midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream. The shadows of that time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to the Afridamus Report once again. Here, let me see. I want to thank G Black for your super chat. I mean, he started early. That's what I'm talking about. You know, he said, "Na Soninke, can you do a comparative analysis for the fees paid for the airport versus the bribes paid on the Senegambia border?" You know, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'll definitely take that into account. I want to thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to be talking about, you know, the trending topic that is taking place here in the United States of America. I'm sure unless if you haven't been paying attention or sleeping under a rock, you know, you probably wouldn't know what is going on. But I am going to take a deep dive into not just the surface that, you know, people are looking at. I'm going to point out to you, the viewer, who benefits from these police deletions that we hear about, black men getting killed. Who benefits? I'm going to, you know, put two and two together for you to see. And also, if, as you guys know, someone losing their life, especially in public, you know, for the whole world to see, it's a really painful thing, you know, especially for the families that are involved, for someone to watch their relative, you know, to watch them lose their life at the hands of people who the community has selected to protect. So I'm going to speak from the two perspectives here, because I get it. Most people will be like, man, these people are wrong, the cops are wrong. I get that. But what perspective are you speaking from? Where are you coming from? And also, the people that run around to try to analyze to you, to interpret what racism is and what isn't racism. Because there are two laws involved here. You have the moral law, which we all know by now. Many people in the United States especially, they don't operate, you know, through the moral law. People complain about the system itself, but they would quote you the law from the system. So these police officers, it doesn't matter what the race is, right? You would think if we're speaking about justice, race shouldn't matter. But here's a problem. We have a little problem in this case. Because you see, the people that made themselves the gatekeepers of racism have found themselves in a sticky position because the agenda that they have, that agenda cannot be supported in this instance, but they are trying every way possible to shift the blame. And people are like, what do you mean? There are several popular race hustlers. For instance, Tariq Nasheed. I'll give Tariq Nasheed an example. I'm going to bring a video here for you guys to see someone also analyze what Tariq has been up to, what he is trying to spin this tragic situation into. Because many of you might look at things like, oh, this is easy peasy, jokey, jokey. But how can you take, certain demographics seriously when they try to turn situations like this into a joke or a money making situation? And then you have another so-called FBA loud voice, this man called TBA, who also found, went out of his way to try to racialize this. Because this is why I keep telling people, stop judging truth based in colors. Justice doesn't know any color. Justice is blind every single time. See, when you try to make a moral argument in a government situation, it will never work. The people have to make up their mind. They have to make up their mind. So this is why these race hustlers, they feel no remorse, they feel no pain. They don't feel like they owe you the truth because they are looking at it like, if you're dumb enough to not think for yourself, to use your human mind that your creator gave you, if you're not using that, they would decide for you how to think. Because if they are able to manipulate the way you think, that brings money into their pocket. So I'm going to talk about this Tyre situation. And I will play a news clip that analyzes exactly what is going on. If you look at it, like, for example, George Floyd, all the other black people they've killed, who are the loudest voices that come out and speak? What political party are they from? This is politicized, just so you guys know. It is one side. They are using what they call identity politics. And also it is sort of like a revolution. They call it the color revolution. They did it in Ukraine in the past. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, you can go research this and see for yourself. Because in this video that I'm about to show you, in this Tyre situation, Tyre is a black man in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee is majority blacks. So, it would make sense that, their government there, in the city, the police and stuff like that would be black. Because you see, for the race hustlers, right, when it comes to situations like this, it's easy to make a guessing game and win. Because if you look at the population of white to black in America, there's way more white people than black. Most of the police are white. So when you give police major powers over the citizens. This is not even based in color. This is what most people don't realize. You have to go look into how are the police trained? What are they trained to do? You know, who are they supposed to use this training on? That's what, people are not putting together. You want the cop to think like you and your friends out there, or your family members at the table. That will never happen. These are complete different strangers. They're strangers to you, and they are trained to deal with you in a certain way. So instead of people taking all that into account, they never do. People are sentimental, like the likelihood of, white cop killing a black person is more likely than the other way around because of the population demographic is a lot more white cops than blacks. But now we are in a black area. What happened there? What happened? Are people in denial? Are people going to say race, race, race? Well, you best believe the cops, 5 of them, are all black. The victim, black. So you would think, no racism here, right? You're wrong. You are wrong. Even the president of the United States, who himself, you know, is accused of being a super, white supremacist and a racist, right? And they have proof of that for, the laws that he's backed. But today he is the champion to decide for everybody what racism really is. So now the word racism, what is truly the meaning of it? Do you understand racism to be based solely on skin color? Oh, racism now means something else. Because there is white people out there right now as we speak, protesting about this. Who are they protesting against? You're protesting about this in an all white city, and they are saying it is racism. On CNN, Van Jones, a very well known race hustler, is on CNN blaming this on racism. So let me play the video here. Guys, I got to give you a warning. I got to give you a warning. This might be too graphic for some of you, but I'm just giving you a warning ahead of time. I'm about to play the video, of Tyre Nichols, the black man we're speaking about here, what happened to him. It was all captured on tape. 5 black police officers. Because here's the thing, like some of these cities, truly, it's not even about the police's color. Sometimes, night interactions with police in this manner, can be dangerous, can really, really be dangerous. Because, like, you have 5 people, they are all well armed, trained. Imagine if those people are coming at you that way, and you already know their defense will be that they were scared for their safety, for their life, even though it's 5 of them and they have weapons on them up, like they are weaponed up and trained for this, right? But just that word that they were fearful for their life, and there is going to be people who would come and speak in their defense and use all types of semantics, right? So this is why I'm telling you, whatever moral compass you have, whatever you think the moral law is supposed to be. Okay? Forget about that for a minute. Let's look at this and judge it according to the other law that they go by. So you would start understanding that people, we should start using our common sense instead of just going along with what people are telling you. What you're about to see in this tape, believe it or not, there is people who would explain it, they try to convince you that what you're seeing is not really what you're seeing. So let me do my fair use here. So I gave you the warning. If you're somebody who doesn't like to see graphic things, please excuse yourself for a few minutes until we return back to what you're not afraid to see. Hold on. Where's my guys? Give me a second here. All right. In our segment of, we call this segment Racism Did It. All right. So here we go. Fair use. This is for educational purposes. So let's see here. Get ready for this, guys.
You get your ass blown the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out the fucking cup. Damn, I didn't do anything. Hey, I didn't turn your ass around. All right. You don't do that, okay?
So, guys, right off the bat, right, you're seeing, several cops coming at him. It's nighttime. They're all giving commands. He's one guy. So, I mean, this can make any regular person panic. Okay? And sometimes when people panic, they, act irrationally. So it's like a bunch of cops coming at one guy. So it's scary as it is already. They all have their weapons out. But here we go.
Hey, get on the fucking ground! Get on the ground! Okay. I'm going to tase your ass! All right, I'm on the ground. Lay down! Lay down! Please tase on the ground! I'm going to tase you! Get on the ground! Lay down! One! Now! I'm tasing! All right, okay. Break your shit. Okay, dude, damn! Turn the fuck around. Put your fucking hands on your back! Bitch, put your hands on your back! Okay, stop. I'm gonna knock your ass the fuck out. You guys are really doing.
All right. Those of you that are watching, that's why I said moral law. And see, when you are out, whatever situation you find yourself in, okay, you don't have control over these situations. You don't know what you're gonna find yourself in, but the only person you have control over is yourself, is you. How you respond to these things, will dictate if you get to go home that day, if you get to go home in one piece or not. If you ever find yourself in these situations, leave your ego completely out of it. Because some of you, your ego is so huge. Leave it. You have a man down, 5 people, scary already. They got the taser right on his leg. They got guns on him. He is not following their command. This is the point where you lay down completely and let your body go limp, with no resistance, and let them move it freely, because it's all on camera. Do not leave any wiggle room, because you have to remember, most people, when the cops come to arrest them, it's already their right to say they're going to arrest you. So, they can arrest you, take you to jail, but it doesn't really mean you're charged with anything. You move on. But during that arrest, even little bit of resistance, they can call it refusal to cooperate. They can call it resisting arrest. Even if they are trying to pull your arm and you pull your arm in the opposite direction of that force, you are resisting arrest. What happened to him is bad, completely, terrible. Trust me. I'm not here arguing that. But this is why I'm saying there's difference between the moral law and the law that is given to cops to operate on. So this guy, at this point, from this video, at this juncture right here, the cops in their mind, they have considered it resisting arrest. Resisting arrest. So I don't know these cops. I don't know if they were looking for, like somebody to beat up on that night, right? Because most people who have common moral sense, like even though, yeah, the guy in the cop lingo, he's resisting arrest right there, but a person who is not looking to do something to someone will not match that energy and escalate it. The cops were supposed to de-escalate the situation because they got him on the ground right there. 5 of them, they got weapons on him. I don't care if this guy is Bruce Lee times 10, at this point, he's no longer a threat to them. You see, he's no longer a threat to them. But in cop lingo, this can be disputed. They would probably quote you some guy who in 1865 shot 5 cops while he was on the ground. Like they would find instances and apply it to every situation. So for you to be on the safe side of things, do not. Once they got you in this position or they say you are under arrest, go limp and allow them to be the one moving your body, your body parts, so that there's no misunderstanding for you to be roughed up. It's not worth it. But let's go.
Doing a lot right now.
Bro,
Stop.
lay down.
I'm just trying to go home.
Lay down.
Man, if you don't lay down, I am on the ground. What's on your stomach? I got you. Okay. Get the fuck back. Stop. I'm not doing it. Please. Oh, shit.
So they tase him, he takes off, right? So guys, at this point, he ended up in a situation where, it became escalated. So this fleeing after, because they would call it that, a fight. So fleeing in this manner, now he is considered dangerous. You see how it works? So now he is considered dangerous. So they're going to chase him. Let's find out how that ends.
2938, where it rains, and Ross. Taser was deployed. Suspect is running down Ross.
So right here, they caught him. Now he's in handcuffs, right? So let's see what happens. He's in handcuffs. These are all black cops. Remember, they used to tell you white cops are out looking to kill black people, black men especially. So these are all black cops, all young black cops. The oldest among them is 32. So he's handcuffed, he's on the ground now, he's no danger, but they will still say he's resisting. So let's see how it goes. So guys, you see like this cop here, this one here kicks him. Even though there's two others on him, he kicks him. Let's see if he continues to kick him. So guys, what you're watching, you're seeing the guy, he's in handcuff. They held him and they are punching him. You see? So when he ran off, when they tased him, all that yelling, it could be, like that probably disoriented him. It disoriented him. But at this point, you have all these cops there. They could have just put him on the ground, just hold him. It's more of them there. But they don't want to do that. They just want to pretend like this guy's got like superpowers. Like he's got superpowers. So therefore, we cannot control him. So we have to beat him to a bloody pulp for him to be subdued. So guys, you see right there what they did to him, right? They eventually put him to the ground. They beat him. Guys, let's be real. This is demonic. You've just watched, you know, a demonic behavior right here. See, these people, the moment, the way they came at this man, you know, I'll tell you right now, there was no need for them to do what they did to him. Yes, he ran away, fine. They ran after him, they got him, put handcuffs on him. They kept punching him, kicking him. It's like they're setting him up so they can continue to beat him. Because as long as he was on his feet, they could say he's a threat. So before people come out and say, oh, that's the law, blah, blah. But you have to remember, then these are demonic laws. These are demonic laws. I mean, this is crazy. This man, right, was going home. He was going home. Like, he's just in his block. He just wants to get home. Even when he ran, like I said, that's why I brought the fact that they're going to say him running, that makes him a threat. Fine, let's say they said that. But when they captured him, when they grabbed him, put the handcuffs on him, at that point, is he a threat? Some are going to come back and say, yes, he is a threat. But it is 5 of them. He is only 145 pounds. I think 6'3". So that's a big stretch. Even though he's tall, that means he's pretty skinny. So kicking him, punching him like that, you would easily break his bones. You see? But they acting like they're afraid. They held him. It's like 5 guys, cowards, ganging up on one guy and just beating him just because the badge, they have the badge. The badge gave them the right to do this. Yeah, someone said, hell, not in Africa. This is true, because in Africa, if people see a cop doing this, bunch of cop up to one person, I don't think the community would, let it go. But it's not even the comparison, right? I'm just trying to let people see the type of arguments they want to bring into things that require common sense. Like, this should be wrong by any standard. So that's why when I hear some of you talking about you should copy America's system of governance, everything, I'm not saying there isn't good parts, but do you want to have your cops have this much power? Where they're because think about it, right? These cops, the way these cops operate is you versus them. It's like you versus them. Because it's like they are out there to try to stop you. Because let's just be honest, guys. Like what type of they haven't come up with anything that would have shown that if they let this man even run away. Mind you, they have his car there. So it would be easy to find out who he is, even if they say they didn't know. They could, they have the car, he had no weapons on him. They are clearly not afraid of him. They said they stopped him for reckless driving. So even if it's reckless driving, imagine what they did to him here. So at this point, it will be hard. Like, we have to question, is American police brutalities that we see, is it racially motivated, or is This is how they are trained. This is how they are supposed to act. Maybe you're the one who's confused about it. Which one is it? Because here you are talking about moral laws versus the law, man-made laws. And that's subject to interpretation. The man that has the power to interpret it can interpret it in his favor. And they have the backing. That's what you have to think about. I mean, this is a sad, sad situation. If any human find themselves among these demons this way, just imagine, this is a sad, sad situation. He's seeing his own life flash right in front of him. Maybe he was conditioned to even think, oh, white cops are the danger. White cops are dangerous to me. But he's watching his own kind, snuff his life out of his body slowly while aware of it. It is sad, guys.
Shut the fuck up. See you wipe your hey.
Give me your hand. Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
You might get sprayed again.
Hey.
Hey, Mike. Hey, bro. Watch out, watch out.
Watch out. Give me your hand.
Mom! Hey.
So, guys, he's screaming because apparently his mom's house is close by. So he's screaming so his mom can hear his voice, so maybe come out and help out, right? He's very close by. So at this point, he's like, man, they're taking me out. So that's what you're watching right here. He's about to spray him in the face.
Give me your hands. Give me.
Okay, all right.
Give me your fucking hand. Give me your hand.
All right. Okay. All right. Huh? Hey, Mike, give me your hands, bro.
Give me your hand.
Watch out. Spray your ass again.
Hey, give me your hands, bro.
Watch out.
Spray.
All right.
Give me your hands, bro.
Oh, shit.
Give me your hands.
Oh, shit.
And guys, all these cops are FBA, by the way. Okay? FBA on FBA crime. Fellow FBA taking down FBA. So that's why I said the race, talk is not going to fly in this case. Okay? These people are possessed. These cops right here. I mean, how can anyone, any human, just freely do this to another human being? There was not a single one of them that would dare say, guys, let's stop it. But they seem to have pleasure in causing him pain.
your hand.
Give me your fucking hand.
Give me your hand.
Oh.
Guys, don't they sound like just any regular Pookie gang member? Guys, these are, you know, these people literally is like they are legal gang members. They are given the power to conduct gang activity. That's what they are doing. This is how gang members act. I mean, even gang members would do this to somebody that did something to them, probably. They probably don't just go, you know, pick on a random person. But this is America for you. Yes, I get it. People might say America is safe, but it's also dangerous, you know, because you don't know where the danger is coming from. It could be the people you trust as government officials. I mean, if you're unlucky, they escalate the situation. This can happen to you. Beware.
Give me a hand. Turn around. Lay back. Lay back, goddamn. Lay back, goddamn.
Lay flat. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Lay back, goddamn. Shit. All right. Oh, shit. Give me a fucking.
35.
Guys, they sprayed him with OC in his face. Okay? If you've never been hit with that, trust me. Once you get hit with that, you become completely blind. You know? It's hard for you to breathe. So these cops, they sprayed him with they sprayed him so much, they even sprayed each other with it. That's how much, OC they've used on him. And mind you, they tased him as well. The only thing that was left is like shooting him. So yeah, they might not shoot you, but they can kick your bones in like they did to him. This is really sad.
Hey, I'm a sissy, goddamn. Give me a motherfucking hand. Watch out. I'm gonna baton the fuck out you. He the fucking hands. Watch out. Watch out. Give it hands. Give us your hands.
And guys, these are all FBA soldiers, raised soldiers. So don't believe the hype when they say, oh, it's the white cops. You're looking at FBA cops here beating up another quote unquote FBA. Okay? So this is what you might face with gang members in uniform. I mean, there's no difference between these cops and gang members on the street. The way they are behaving, the language they are using. You guys heard them yelling, screaming, dropping F-bombs, just to cause more confusion. This is sick and demonic, guys. Seriously. I mean, some people might want to clown it, but this is really sick.
Give us your hands. Same location. Ross and Kelsey. Ross and Kelsey. What's it? Give me your fucking hand. Give me your hand. Give me your fucking hand. Give me your hand, motherfucker. Give me your hand. Ross and Castlegate. We are east of the intersection. Just stay like that.
So guys, What you're seeing there, these are cops, right? The other cops came, you know, like they're just standing around. You're literally watching this. So it's like, okay, these people, they are supposed to be human beings, mind you, right? But there is a human being that they kicked his brains in, totally messed him up. They dragged him and put him right across the, next to his own car to die, right? Look at them walking around casually, like nothing happened. It's like business as usual. But they are supposed, like, I mean, I don't know. They are supposed to be human beings dealing with other human beings. You make your call here and see what is going on.
You running? You just said, fuck. You just see, you look like Steve Wonder, man.
Right here? Oh, he was all the way around. Nah, I seen him running, man. We was rolled past him running, so I got him right here. Yeah, he was wiping his face. Then he just took out running. Yeah, Hampton don't stop.
So guys, you see this? Yeah, these cops right here. These black cops right here that you're seeing. So these guys are about to brag about their good job that you just watched. Listen.
Yes, all this shit. So we tried to get him stopped. He didn't stop. We still instead of trying to get him, hit the siren. Stop. That man drove around, swerved like he finna hit my car. So then I'm like, God damn, man, what are we doing? He pulled up to the red light, stop at the red light, put his turn signal on. So we jump out the car. She went from there. He got
Man, I sure lost my flashlight.
Dang.
So yeah, that's the cops right there bragging, guys. Unbelievable.
I got my shit in my pocket. Where you was at, bro? Where you was at, Smith? Where you was at? All right, now.
This is how your cops sound in this town. I mean, come on, guys. In this town in Memphis, this is how these cops sound. Just like the regular ghetto guys, hood guys. You want to tell me, you expect, something great to come out of that? I mean, it's like your cop, if he's talking like a deep redneck, you should be worried. Just like a hood, you should be worried at the same time. Yeah.
I'm trying to see that shit now, bro. Yeah, I was gonna see y'all call for one. Y'all ain't call for one. Okay.
Let's run. Do you see my flashlight?
Man, I'm trying to find that boy. Unless it's under the car, I get on there and look. Name? Mills got it. Hey, Mills. What Mills is it?
Look, guys, I'll tell you right now, in America, it's not just what we're seeing like this. I'm just telling you guys. Even I used to see this when I worked in prison. It used to blow my mind. How like some inmate would just try to resist. They would say, suit up, officers go suit up. You come in to extract that. Sometimes he gets banged in, beat up. And there are officers that loved this. They enjoy it. And that inmate would be laying there getting medical, and they would be bragging about what they did to him. But you're like, wow, are these people devils? Like, this would be somebody like you're talking to. They sound normal. They would pretend to be professional. They even have family. But if you see the things that excite them to do to another human, like, it's really scary. Like, it's demonic. to even take pleasure in doing this to another human being. It is really sick. I don't think you guys understand how sick it is. They might say, oh, it's all in the name of law and order. Is it? Really? So, yeah, this should scare you. If you, I mean, look at how they left him laying there and they're casually just walking by like nothing's going on. And this guy, his mom, imagine his mom has to watch this. She has to sit there and watch this happen to her son. Watching people beat up her son and just letting him die without even helping him. Think about that. This is the type of things you see in America. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So guys, you see the white cop that appeared in that video? So you guys see him, he came after all this has happened. In another stream, I heard an FBA person saying they should charge that cop with a crime. They should charge that cop just for the cop being there for being white. But I'm like, oh, okay, but the cop didn't do anything. But they want the cop locked up. So some of you are like, oh, you're the one saying it's racial. I'm going to play the clip here of Van Jones making this racial. Guys, please hit the like so the algorithm can share the video. Hit the like and share as well.
You can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere, man. You can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere. He's good, man. I don't know what the fuck your shit. On my stuff. Yeah, I'm a girl free going capital right now.
Okay, so guys, you see that, right? Now, let me bring another clip here where Van Jones from CNN, because just so you guys know, CNN, MSNBC, and a lot of these quote-unquote new black medias and stuff, they use, it doesn't matter. Now, it's not about, it's like Black Death. They have monopolized that. So when a black man dies in America in the hands of cops, other people get paid. The people that run around saying B1, B1, they get paid off of the death of a black man. So this man here, even though you guys can see clearly, is black cops that killed him. But I'm going to play this clip here. Tucker Carlson. I'm going to play his clip. And he would break this down exactly, like for you to know exactly what you're seeing. So this situation is being turned into a democratic platform. They are using it against the people. That's what they are doing right now. They are pretending like they care about this man's family, but they are trying to gain more power by calling it a racist situation? Let's allow Tucker Carlson to tell us here. Here we go.
So I look at her and I say, "What are you looking at?" And she looked at me and she said, "What are you?"
Well, as we said, that video is hard to watch. Parts of it are brutal. It seems like an abuse of power. You can't kick a man when he's on the ground, handcuffed. Decent people oppose that. Virtually all Americans oppose that. We should also remember that we don't know all the facts here. We've seen a lot of videos over the years that have been put to uses that had nothing to do with the topic of the video itself. So we should suspend some level of judgment, but that video is awful in a lot of ways. But here's what it's not. It's not an example of racism, systemic or otherwise. The man on the ground who was killed or died in any case was black, but so was every police officer you just saw hitting him. So, by the way, is the police chief of Memphis. So is most of its city government. So also is the overwhelming majority of the city of Memphis itself. So whatever you think of them, white people did not play any role in this particular tragedy. Whatever the story may be about, it's not about racial bias. Any honest person could see that immediately. But you would never know it from watching the so-called news coverage of this tape today. The only...
So guys, Tucker Carlson is absolutely on point. He's breaking it down exactly like it is. So in the past, they would say it is white people's fault. It's racism, right? And these are dependent on television, because people come online here and pretend and say, oh no, this is just an online stuff. What, the people online you think are not humans? It is people that make up what goes on online, just like television. So it's the same regular people. So there are some demographic who still take all their news from television. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, they clearly have an agenda. They are pushing, like racial divide constantly. They are even encouraging people to go out and protest. But what are they going to protest about? But in order for this to happen, they have to have black faces come out who are paid handsomely to pretend like this is racism.
The person whose race most media outlets identified was the victim. Another unarmed black man murdered by the police, they said. Moments ago on MSNBC, they just described what you just saw as white supremacy. Really, how? CNN's Van Jones did acknowledge that the police who hit Tyre Nichols were black, but, quote, they might still have been driven by racism. Van Jones didn't take the time to explain how. It was a lie, of course. They're all lying. And Joe Biden himself, the president of the United States, swiftly reinforced that lie, referring to an event.
So guys, he's right. It's very suspect. Like, you have people like Van Jones coming out. They say, yeah, it's racism, it's racial, but they don't explain, like white supremacy. You have the chief of white supremacy, who is accused of being the chief of white supremacy, saying it's white supremacy. And he's the president, he's the government. So if it's truly white supremacy, why is he the president? What are they going to do about it? They're the ones in charge. But you know what they're trying to do? In all these cities, they are trying to defund the local police and try to make it a federal police system. The federal government want to have control over all these states like 100%. They want to federalize it to make it like the Third Reich in Germany. Okay? If you don't read history, if you're not reading and paying attention, you are not seeing what is happening. A president who is in charge of a country, think about that. He's in charge of a country, he's white, most of the government is white. Why would he come out and claim in a situation where it is five black officers deleting a black man, and he's coming saying it is racial, it is racism, America's long history of racism. what does racism mean at this point? Is this word used? They want to just trigger black people? Is something coming that they're trying to distract the rest of us from? Black History Month is coming. So if they enter Black History Month with this, it would distract black people from something else. You see? So this cannot make sense. Let me read this super chat. Ja, thank you for the super chat. He said, did you see Jason Whitlock's take on it with Tucker? I have not, but I'll take a look at it. Thank you. And Stormy, thank you for the $20 super chat. Stormy said, I am distraught by this. I was a police officer for 22 years. 5 officers against an unarmed driver should have just held him or easily got him later. The officers chose brutality and mob mentality. Gotta binge watch now. Exactly. Thank you for the super chat. And here, let me thank you guys properly here. Let me give you the proper thank you. Where's the thank you here?
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you. Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see through.
All right, thank you very much, Ja and Stormy. Here we go.
And in which every single participant and their supervisors was the same color, Biden lectured the United States that, quote, fatal encounters with law enforcement have disparately impacted black and brown people. So the one thing we know, no matter how you feel about the video, and most people don't think that's right, but the one thing we know for sure is that there is a highly aggressive propaganda campaign underway tonight designed to manipulate you and using the sad death of a young man in Memphis to do it. That propaganda campaign, like all propaganda campaigns, is by definition dishonest. But it's more than that. It's worse than that. This is yet another attempt by our leaders of our country to inflame racial hatred in the United States. Why would anyone ever do that? The consequences of doing that ripple through the generations. They don't go away quickly, but they're doing it anyway. Why? We can't say for certain, but we can't help but notice that the last time we had race riots in this country, an incumbent president, lost re-election. There was a point. So Joe Biden, if he weren't senile, might be concerned by this. But whatever the intent of lying about what you just saw might be, we know that it's evil. And we are beginning to suspect that the violence expected in Memphis tonight is not organic. It's not just outraged people taking to the streets. Why are we guessing that? Because similar violence is also expected tonight in cities across the country. As we speak, Antifa is coordinating riots on both coasts and in between. That would include Seattle and Portland, Oregon.
He's 100% correct. So if you read about Nazi Germany, the Third Reich, when Hitler came to power, they used the brown shirts, the SS, to terrorize the people. They are a branch of the Nazi party. So these people are saying they are Antifa, they are anti-fascist. What anti-fascist organization do you know in the United States that have power? But you see, it is Antifa that is organizing, mobilizing these riots. Like I said, they have it in this city and state where I live. It's majority white people there. What does this have to do with white people? All the way across, to the other side of the country where we live. But it is clearly, if you just go read, the Third Reich, like how Hitler rose to power, the tactics they use, like these people are not even that creative anymore. Like they use Nazi tactics, but they say they are doing the opposite of that. So they use, slogans like Black Lives Matter. Who is going to argue against that? So you can easily, get, because what, you're going to tell them, no, Black lives don't matter? No, they already know that. So they are using, the plight of Black people to push an agenda. Because if there isn't a sick agenda, like Biden being the president, he can just, the things he's saying, if he believes them, he's got the power, he can just do something about it. But why is he coming speaking in a way as if he's just a candidate? You guys remember Obama did the same thing too? It's funny how when Obama was there is similar to now. Like, yes, they can use, like the death of blacks, like they used George Floyd, like now they're trying to use this one too. But it is difficult for even the race hustlers to make a concrete argument about this one here, to try to base it on race. But that is not stopping them. Like I said, the riots have already begun. You heard him. He named Seattle, Portland. These are centers of Antifa. They are clearly centers of Antifa. So the man is asking genuine question. Why are they out there burning things when it is a black on black, deletion? Like, if you're burning places, who are you going to blame? Last time it was white people you blamed, So this time, like, how are they going to blame white people? So they want you, the regular person watching their propaganda, and go out there and act on what they are telling you. But if you truly use your common sense, what they are saying, doesn't add up. It's just silly to go along with what they are saying.
In Los Angeles, California, as well as Atlanta, Georgia, New York City, suburban Washington, D.C., et cetera, et cetera. Barricades are going up right now in Times Square. The NYPD is worried about attacks on police and potentially public transportation. Our rage is stronger than their power, declared the Antifa chapter in Frederick, Maryland. Of course, by morning we'll know if that's true, but we already know there's a lie embedded in the claim. Our rage? We get so mad watching CNN that we took to the streets and set police stations on fire or whatever they plan to do? No, that's not what's happening. Antifa is not a bunch of hooligans. These are not idle kids who just appear out of nowhere because they're so mad about what they saw on cable news or read on Twitter. Antifa is a political instrument whose actions always are intended to affect a political outcome, period. Antifa does not appear by accident. Antifa appears with a purpose to affect a political outcome every single time. And if there's one criticism of the rest of us watching this at home, it's that we often miss that because every channel is telling us something terrible happened. Here's a video of it. And sometimes the video is terrible. And then they imply.
And also, guys, mind you, let's ask ourselves this question. Why are they showing us these videos? Like, why are they showing us these videos? Just like the George Floyd one. Government can just take care of things if they, they don't want chaos to ensue in the streets. But they want chaos because chaos would, give them more power. They're going to come up with some new idea and say, oh, we're going to come up with such and such law. And it's always grabbing more power. Just take the time and read books about, different governments that where, like they use techniques like this to gain more power. I mean, you don't even have to look deep into it. Just go listen to what the president, quote unquote, Biden said. That alone would give you the answer you need to know.
That because of this video, the emotions of the people watching just erupt into rage and violence. But that's not what's happening. Antifa is being organized by whom? We don't know. Why don't we know? To do what? We can't say right now. But we know for certain that in cities across the country right now, Antifa is mobilizing to commit violence. This is a political militia. So the question is, who's benefiting from it? Those are the people you ought to be asking questions of, and we're going to have time to do that.
All right. So, guys, let me show you, right? He asked the question, who is benefiting from this? Because think about it, like, you know, like how is Antifa just around, you know? Yeah, just like the Azov battalion, they are using the same technique they used in Ukraine. They've used it in Nazi Germany, you know, like the color revolution they used in Ukraine. Like you use like a group of people, you label them as vulnerable and just use their plight and blow it out of proportion so that you can benefit. Because it's like they are on standby. These are white people, by the way, bunch of white people, right? How are they more pissed off and outraged than black people? Ding ding, you gotta think. So I'm going to play a clip here to show you the type of blacks who are benefiting from this as well. It's a whole apparatus. Like this race business, this race business is $1 billion industry, just in case you haven't been paying attention. And we will get to Tariq Nasheed also Tariq Nasheed blamed this on black immigrants. He said the cops are black immigrants. That's what he tried to say. So I'm going to bring that clip as well, where somebody is completely debunking that. KBM, thank you for the super chat. KBM said, Antifa say they are anti-fascist, but they practice fascism at all high levels. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, KBM. Thank you very much. Here we go. So for those of you that watch, you know, CNN and MSNBC and all this, you know, lettered, you know, news shows, let me tell you, these guys are actors. They act. So the guy Van Jones, who said that, who claimed this is racism, you know, it's white supremacy that, you know, caused this man his life. He is an actor on CNN. And I'm about to prove that to you right now with this clip. When, quote unquote, they said Biden won, right? This man went on CNN and pretend to cry. I think he was excited about, you know, he's headed to the bank. That's what, you know, was giving him tears. But I want you guys to take a look at this video and tell me if this man is truly crying or he is acting. Here we go. Give me a moment here. And this is Van Jones, the race hustler on CNN.
Van, what are your thoughts? It's well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters. Being a good person matters. And it's easier for a whole lot of people. If you're Muslim in this country, you don't have to worry if the president doesn't want you here. If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happy to have babies snatched away or send dreamers back for no reason. This is vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered.
Guys, this is on CNN. This is the so this man is saying he's crying. He said it's easier to be a dad because Biden won. Last time he said it's harder to be a dad because Trump won. So he's just putting on an act. So they want you to believe that these people, like the President Biden, all these people, they are the ones that determine what your life would be, like they are God. So this man is clearly pretending. Clearly pretending. But there are audiences they are catering to who just buy this hook, line, and sinker. They think this is real. This is the man who is claiming that video you just saw, 5 cops, black cops, beating up a black person, he claims is white supremacy and racism. This is the guy.
You know, I can't breathe. You know, that wasn't just George Floyd. That was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe. Every day you're waking up and you're getting these tweets and you just don't know, and you're going to the store and people who have been afraid to show their racism are getting nastier and nastier to you, and you're worried about your kids and you're worried about your sister. And can she just go to Walmart and get back into her car without somebody saying something to her? And you spent so much of your life energy just trying to hold it together. And this is a big deal for us just to be able to get some peace and have a chance for a reset. And the character of the country matters. And being a good man matters. You know, I just want my sons to look at this. Look at this. You know, it's easy to do it the cheap way.
Guys, he's stuttering, right? A lot. So he's making it up as he goes, unless if he's speaking about his own life where. So these people were, because they are on CNN online telling lies. So maybe he cannot go to Walmart without people calling him a liar. That doesn't make them racist. Maybe he's talking about himself. So you see, he's not specifying who he is directing this to. But simply because he's on CNN, by proxy, he talks about racism, all this stuff. There are blacks who are into the color thing. So they just see him as their representative. Imagine him being your representative. The man is straight just acting right in front of us here.
And get away with stuff, but it comes back around. It comes back around. And this is a good day for this country. I'm sorry for the people who lost. For them, it's not a good day. But for a whole lot of people, it's a good day.
So, guys, that right there, that was Van Jones. Van Jones. So you guys saw the video, what happened, what we're talking about here. This is serious situation. You would think so. No one should make, any joke about it, make anything lightly of it. Right? You would think so. But no, you would be so wrong. So Tariq Nasheed, you guys know Tariq Nasheed, a race hustler. You would have think there is no way in hell that Tariq Nasheed would ever try to use a serious situation like this and turn it into a racial matter. Well, you're wrong, because Tariq Nasheed is trying to say the cops are immigrants. So I found a video where this guy, he did a great job breaking it down. He went along explaining things that people need to understand. And there are things he said which I have known for a long time because I live here in America. So I see these things, I interact with people, I see how they think. There are many people that Tariq Nasheed caters to. You can just go read the comments. These are the demographic who, like, they really don't even understand how America works. You know, these people are stuck in the past. You know, if you listen to the type of talking points that Tariq brings, is from like the, 60s. You know, he tries to talk in terms of civil rights, because there are many who thinks they're still fighting that. So those are the people he caters to. Clearly, Memphis is not a place where, black immigrants are going to, you know. I don't see that. I don't know many I don't think I even know any black immigrants that live there, but I'm sure they do have some. But most black immigrants, whether from the Caribbean, Africa, wherever, they mostly reside in large, expensive American cities, where the living standard is higher. You know why? Because if you're an immigrant, it's smarter to live in environments like that, because if you own a business, you can easily, make it in your business, because you will be around people who make money and your business would work. And it's also easier to find work if you are into, looking for work. But outside of that, most places like Memphis, Alabama, those areas is not really, it doesn't stand out for immigrants like that, especially black immigrants. So if you mostly see black people there, those are quote unquote the people that call themselves ADOS, the black people who descended from slaves. They are mostly black American, from there, right? So these cops, by their names alone tells you they are black American. You know, let's say argument can be because Jamaicans sometimes would have name like that, but still their location prove exactly who they are. But that's not even important, right? Look, to me, it doesn't even matter, what the race of the person is who committed the crime. The person should face the consequences regardless of their race. It doesn't matter. So whether these cops, as far as I'm concerned, personally, I don't care if they ADOS, BLADOS, white, blue, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Their conduct is what they should be judged by, clearly, because they are the ones with the badge. They are the ones that acted on, they are the ones that acted the way they did. That's not every other black person. That's who they are. Just like the white cop that would, take the life of a black person is not a representation of all white people. So the same thing applies here. And even if these cops, let's say they had Jamaican background, they still do not represent all Jamaicans. They represent the Memphis Police Department, plain and simple. Because guess what? Memphis Police Department is about to get sued. Okay? They are about to get sued. That's what's going to happen. The city is about to get sued for this. So when people, race hustlers, try to group people, it means they want to make money. Let me play for you what Tariq Nasheed, the new lie Tariq Nasheed tried to pass off. I'm telling you guys, this guy have become a joke. So anybody that subscribes to his mentality, know this: they are definitely, you cannot take them serious as well. Let me do my fair usage here. This video I found, this guy did a great job breaking, Tariq's, modus operandi. The guy doesn't even try anymore. He just knows, okay, this is how his audience think. They are not very bright. They're not gonna go look for information. They don't understand America's demographic. They are stuck in the between them and the, white people, black and white, when in fact America's demographic have changed drastically, since the time they were they were busy fighting for quote unquote, civil rights. Like, it's changed. If you're somebody that lives in, let's say, states like that, Mississippi, Louisiana, Memphis, and you're only used to seeing black and white, and they don't travel, it's easy for them to just swallow what Tariq is saying because they are not interacting with other people. So they operate in old-time American mindset. They operate in fear. So this is why some of the things you hear on CNN or you hear politicians say, to you and I, it sounds crazy because we know the truth. But they know who this message is directed to. That's why they don't care. Like, they would blatantly lie because they are like, hey, yeah, we know we're lying. A lot of people will know. Some people, the smart people will know. But the ones we want to vote for us, the ones we want to be our foot soldiers, our supporters, they don't know this. So we would lie. So Tariq is using the same exact technique. That's the same exact technique he's using. They just hear him say terrorists is the black immigrants. All they see is black person talking differently from them or from different area. So now they are like, yeah, what Tariq is saying is true. So let me do the fair usage and then let this man break Tariq's video down. All right. We got the fair usage out of the way. Here we go.
Yeah, we back. Now, today's not going to be a long video, man. We're going to be in and out. We're going to be quick because I realized something, man. I realized, man, Tariq, man, he ain't even serious, man. We be taking him serious. We be trying to debunk him because we think he's actually serious, but he's not even serious, bro. Like, I realized today, like, he's just playing, man. He's just playing, but let's get into it, man. As you know, first of all, I want to send my condolences to the family of Mr. Nichols. Before we even get started, I'm going to say rest in peace to the brother. I'm going to send my love and my respect to the family. Now, let's get into it. Now, if you've been following my videos for a while, then you already know what type of video this episode is going to be. But it's something that we are accustomed to. It's something that we've come to expect, right? A tragedy happens in the black community. A tragedy happens, and we already know who's going to be first on the scene asking stupid questions. In fact, if you remember, I believe it was about a week ago, there was that lunatic running around Washington. I believe it was Washington, just going around indiscriminately shooting at people, things like that. And the first...
Yeah, that's the guy in the one I talked about in Seattle, the Senegalese guy. The Senegalese guy, they were... Tariq talked about, oh yeah, he's shooting FBA, but I told you guys yesterday, it wasn't FBA he shot. It was a Gambian he killed and a Somali, a Soninke guy. He killed a Somali and a Gambian guy. So, I'm not saying, all those killings are approved, but yeah, it's a Senegalese guy who killed a Somali and a Gambian. But Tariq tried to make it sound like, oh yeah, it's a Senegalese. These Africans want to come over here and shoot us. They want to shoot us because he knows his crowd operate based in fear. This is why people like Joe Biden, the president, would tell them, oh, if you don't vote for me, they'll put you guys back in chains. There are blacks who believe this in some other states. It sounds crazy, but I don't think you really have met a lot of these people or listen on the internet. You think some of these people are playing. Now, that's their level of thinking. They don't know any better.
Thing Tariq Nasheed was talking about was, oh, it was the Africans and the Caribbeans and the black immigrants. But I realized after today, man, Tariq, this is not genuine. You know what I mean? This is not genuine. This is a script. He's just running a play. He's getting paid to do it. Like, it's not even believable anymore. And let's get into it, and you're going to understand why. First of all, as you already know, the first thing Tariq Nasheed, he's going to be asking, is anyone else getting non-FBA vibes from these dudes? Now, the reason why...
Did you guys see that? So that's what Tariq wrote. Is anyone else getting non-FBA vibe from these dudes? So think about it, guys. Here is a individual who lost his life. Lost his life. So all Tariq cares about is to try to make money off of that. He wants to base the argument on that. Guys, you see the type of talking points and the type of people that buy into the Tariq way of thinking, like Renee Larocque here. She said he shot 3 people, 2 Africans and 1 BA, Black American. His intentions were Black American, though. You see that? So you can never win with people like her. So even though this man, she's telling us that a Senegalese, this Senegalese could not differentiate between an African, a Somali. You know, he's from, and he doesn't know that that person is not a Somali. He thought he was FBA. That's what you want me to believe. Or you want me to believe he thought the Gambian person was FBA. That's what you want me to believe. The thing is, let's just accept it. There are lunatics around. There are lunatics everywhere. There are Africans who are lunatics. There are blacks who are lunatics, whites. You know, when people commit, you know, crazy things, crazy actions, let's deal with the demonic behavior instead of you adding your own bias against a certain group of people. And all that comes from hatred and fear. Fear causes hatred. And Tariq knows this. And he uses that against the people that follow him.
Say Tariq is not even trying anymore is because Tariq Nasheed, I'm sure he's familiar with the demographics of the United States. He knows the populations of different cities, different states. He knows where the Black immigrants are. He knows where the Black immigrants are not. You know, he knows. Everybody knows. And like I said before, no offense to my brothers that live in these locations, but Black immigrants are not leaving their nations to come live in the state of Tennessee or you know, the city of Memphis or Arkansas or Jackson, Mississippi. Those aren't destination spots, right? Black immigrants tend to float to places where the population is high, where there's already a population of their people already there established, so they can kind of blend in and kind of already jump into the community, as well as high populated areas to do business, set up shop, things like that, right? Usually states with a higher cost of living because it's more easier to do business, jump in, make money, you know what I mean? Get to work, things like that. So you're going to find them in the Massachusetts, you're going to find them in the New Yorks, you're going to find them in the Floridas, things like that. It's not going to be large populated immigrants in places.
And guys, I dropped this guy's link in the chat there. Moderator, can you please highlight it there so the people can subscribe to his channel? He's doing a good job. But he's absolutely correct. People, it doesn't matter whether they're Black or you know, even Europeans, Eastern Europeans, people come to America, they are going to go where the population is, where the money is at. That's where people go to. So the man is absolutely correct.
Like Memphis, I believe, where this tragedy took place, especially not to the point where they're going to be populating whole entire police departments and rolling deep in the police. Like, nah, bro, like Tariq knows this. He knows this. He's almost 60 years old. It doesn't take a genius to understand the demographics of America. It's actually very simple and straightforward. Another way to easily tell if a place is populated by Black immigrants is just look at the first names and the last names of the people who inhabit that location, right? And if we look at the names of the officers involved in this tragedy, take a look up on the screen. The officers that were charged in this incident go by the names of Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills, Emmett Martin, Justin Smith, Tadarius Bean, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you see the names, right? Demetrius, Desmond, Emmett, Justin, Tadarius. So, but still, Tariq wants you to believe, you know. He said he's getting, you know, non-FBA vibe. So he's using a man's death, you know. It's like a joke. It's like a joke. So like, you're not even just gonna, you know, pray for this man's family. You're not gonna wish him, you know, rest in peace. But instead, you're going to try to exploit his death to make comedy out of it, because this is what that is. That's exactly what you're seeing.
Obviously, brothers of Anglophone colonial descent, right? Now, you could say, oh, they might be Jamaican, because as we know, the Jamaicans are also Anglophone, right? So they kind of also have English names, things like that. That's when you go back to the demographics of the city. Is Memphis jumping with Jamaicans like that? No, that is what you call, what's the name of Tariq Nasheed's movement? The foundational black. Yeah, that's a foundational black city, right? That's not no Jamaican city. No, like Jamaicans ain't running up in Tennessee like that, bro. And Tariq knows that. He knows that. So in my opinion, there's only two conclusions to come to. Either he understands that his audience is not the brightest bunch, which we've already established. Either he knows they're not the brightest bunch, they don't really understand the demographics of the country. And like I said in previous videos, a lot of their behaviors, a lot of their ideologies are regurgitated white boy nonsense from the early 20th century, right? Especially a lot of narratives they push in regards to the black immigrant population. Very outdated, late 19th century, early 20th century viewpoints that even white people don't go around saying anymore, man. For example, if you look up on the screen, you see the tweet. It says, are these dudes FBA? And then he goes on to say, it may be some first generations. Look at their huge craniums. Now, anyone who has read literature from the 19th century, then you understand how Europeans use the sciences, use the arena of science to justify whatever prejudices they held, right? Even when the science was not backed up by anything, it was just stuff they made up out the back of their behind, right? In case many of you didn't know, there was a field of science known as phrenology, right? And phrenology was basically used as a front to justify why Europeans are superior to Africans, to blacks, because of things like the skull shape, the head shape, you know what I mean? Europeans thought that the size of your cranium had an effect on your morality or your intelligence or your behavior as an individual.
Guys, what he's saying here is on point. Remember, if some of you might remember, I've done live streams where I talked about how, Tariq and a lot of these B1 people who try to sound like they are smart, they are repeating all KKK talking points that were used against blacks here in America, right? White supremacist talking points. Remember, I told you guys, they are the white supremacists now. They've taken on that spirit. And they exercise this white supremacist spirit on Africans and other black people. Just go listen to the things that, like Tariq says. He tries to pass it off like it's a joke, right? But that's how he truly thinks. So he's using white supremacist talking points to attach it to quote unquote black immigrants. That's exactly what he's doing. So this guy is right about what he's saying here.
A human being. Now, obviously, eventually this field of science was scrapped, but back in the day, it was a respected field of science, right? Europeans even made up certain medical conditions such as drapetomania. They said if you were a black man, right? If you were a black man on a plantation, you desired to be free. You desired for your family to be free, your wife and your kids to be free. They thought that was a mental illness. They thought a black man not wanting to work for a white man for free on a plantation was a mental illness. They thought that was something wrong with that black man and he needed medical treatment to get back on board and get back to work. There was a lot of junk science from the 19th century floating around to justify how the Europeans were making their money, right? We got to keep the slavery thing popping. We got to keep our foot on the Africans' neck. So we got to make up all this nonsense and put it in the scientific text in order to justify the way they made their money and also to justify the way they were living their lives, right?
So you have to remember, these guys, they have no moral compass. So that's why it's very easy for you, like a lot of these race hustlers, you see them on TV, right? They have absolutely no problem to just go sit there and put an act on. It doesn't matter, like who this act hurts, who this affects, they do not care. You're seeing a white, like a black person. You're seeing this dark-skinned black person sitting in front of you, but you are really looking at a KKK. They generally tend to be Democrats. You're looking at a KKK. Just listen to their talking points. Like Tariq tries to laugh around, but he's a KKK. He's a KKK member. You don't see the white KKKs anymore because they've turn and become black. Look at Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, all these people. Their mentors are KKKs. I mean, look at, like for example, when blacks talk about they are oppressed, right? Think about it. They vote for their own oppression because the government is the one with the power to oppress you, quote unquote. But if you are voting for that same government, that means you are promoting your own oppression. Even during the George Floyd, quote unquote, riot, these people that claim to be B1s, Tariq, all these people, go on Twitter and see. They claim they are not Democrats, they are against Kamala and all, but they are doing the same thing as Kamala. They were out there bailing criminals out. They were bailing criminals out. Tariq was doing it. What is it called? TBA, the guy that calls himself the Black Authority, and several others. But these people, they will tell you they are not Democrats. So you wonder, like, if, like, truly they're all like democratic shields. So these people have no empathy or compassion for the people they are dealing with. Just pay attention to the words they emphasize power on. They want, if they're telling you, whatever they're telling you, think the opposite of that. Like when Joe Biden saying, I'm show you guys compassion, it means he has no compassion for you guys. He's not showing you any empathy. So whatever they're telling you, it is the opposite of that. So most black race hustlers, I would say all of them, they are Democrats. And those are the talking points they repeat. And Tariq is no exception.
In the minds of the Europeans, it was justified to oppress you. It was justified to subjugate you because you were mentally inferior due to things like the size of your cranium, the size of your skull, and the shape of your skull, things like that. And we see that today in Tariq Nasheed's group, right? They say things like, look at the size of their head, look at the hairline, look at the shape of the head, look at the shape of the hairline, things like that. Like I said, regurgitated nonsense from the early 20th century, late 19th century that they've caught up on, and now they're revamping it and putting a black spin on it. But what they don't understand, by them trying to make a separation from other black people due to things like the size of the shape of the cranium and things like that, they don't understand the people who created this science, the Europeans, they look at them as inferior as well because they're the ones who invented that branch of science to begin with. But like I said, man, most people following Tariq, they're not very highly educated. They're not very highly educated in the sciences, in history, things like that. A lot of this information would be new to them. They're just following and regurgitating whatever.
He's 100% correct. How many, even online here, how many of the, quote unquote FBA or people that identify with this, you can have this type of conversations with? They don't know these terms. Yeah, they will tell you, oh yeah, I read some books, but they've never even taken the time to pay attention in formal school, to understand how research is formally done and knowing the meaning of words. I mean, majority is reading at third grade, level. So they might be speaking English, attempting to, but they don't understand the language itself. They don't understand the language. So not realizing people have read about these things, they just are taking it, like he's saying, to flip it and try to make it put a black spin on it. Not realizing that people already peeped the game.
But Tariq says they probably can't even spell phrenology. So it is what it is, man. Anyways, at this point, if Tyre Nichols looked up the article, which I'm sure he did some basic research on the tragedy. If he looked at the names of the officers, if he's seen the location where the tragedy happened, which was in Memphis, he would understand that the likelihood of black immigrants being responsible for this would be damn near non-existent. And he knows that, which at this point, it just shows like he's not even being serious at this point. Like the whole thing is jokes. And I think a good way to end this video is this tweet by what this brother said. Shout out to him. He said, "This is what I'm always talking about. Black men always think it's time to joke and laugh. And because we don't take ourselves seriously enough, how do you expect other demographics to take us seriously? A black man lost his life at the hands of other black men, and you got jokes." And when I seen that tweet, it pretty much solidified it for me, man.
Guys, isn't that what you usually see? Yeah. So this man considers himself a leader, right, Tariq? And there are people following him. So that would mean you can speak to that group. Yeah, they think everything is a joke. You know, they always he-heing and cacaing as if, you know, that's all they have time for, joking around. But yet they want to be taken seriously by other people. You don't take yourself serious. Why would other people take you serious? A black man dies, Tariq is making a joke about it. That is the truth. And there are other silly blacks in the chat, you know, yeah, just going along. And then you start wondering, do these people have their own brain to think? But they don't think like that.
Man, Tariq, he ain't even serious, man. He ain't even serious. We thought he was serious, but he's not even serious, bro. He's not even serious. Either he's getting paid to do this, or he just understands that the intelligence levels of his audience is so low that he could pull this off, and they're not even gonna check him on it because they're not even intelligent enough to even understand things like demographics and things like that. They just gonna follow him blindly into the wilderness. Or he's just on somebody's payroll to push certain narratives shamelessly. Because at this point, it don't even make sense, man. Either he's making a joke, or at this point, he's literally paid to do this. Because this is like, come on, bro. It's like it's like pulling up from the 3-point line and just straight airball. Like he ain't even try to shoot. Like he ain't even try to make the bucket. Like I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. But anyways, man. It's your boy Nevercard Desaline back in the building. Yes, indeed. And I'm gone. Peace. Like, share, subscribe. Cash app in the description.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in the ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when.
All right. So guys, you heard what he said there. He's absolutely 100% correct. So around those videos, I hope you guys, you know, are seeing exactly what is happening in America. Even though some people want to make light of it, you know, joke around, you know, use racial animosity to create more tension because that brings them money. The link is in the chat, and please, if you want to hit the link, by all means, come on through and, you know, add on to the conversation. But before that, let me take you guys, you know, into the wilderness here, because apparently I noticed this video, there are people that, you know, put in requests. They said they really love it when I play this video. But please make sure you hit the like while, you know, I play this video here. And those of you that requested, no worries. You don't even have to do super chat, but I'll play it regardless. Here we go. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that was me walking with the lions again. Apparently, people, I didn't know they love this video so much. So, yeah, you know, you can request it anytime. Anytime. Judah, welcome to the Afridamus report. We have Judah in the house. Judah, are you there?
Yes, Afridamus, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome to the Afridamus report. Judah, are you familiar with the Tyre Nichols story before today?
Yes, it happened in Memphis, right?
Yeah, Memphis.
Right, Memphis, Tennessee.
So are you surprised that some of these people, you know, even this man lost his life? The race hustlers are trying to find a way to either blame the white man for this, but they're not explaining, or like Tariq's case, trying to make it sound like the
Man,
cops are black immigrants.
look. See, they have been blaming the white man for so long. This is the thing, right? Me and you in this country, right? We see the crimes that are happening, black on black crimes and all this stuff. Look, when this thing happened, right? Most black people thought it was all white. I mean, like blacks in other states when they
Right.
because the black guy, they were right and
Judah, you keep breaking up.
even
You keep. Are you okay there?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You go in and out.
Oh, sorry. I say even in Utah that I live, right? People were
Right.
already talking about it. The blacks, they have not watched the news, so they just knew it was police officers. They knew it was all, it's gonna be white. But when it all came out that these were all black police officers, everybody was, surprised, and everything is calm. Like, nobody is actually, it's
Are they
crazy, man.
are they protesting in Utah?
Hell nah, man. What they don't protest when it's black, right? Black people, they always come
Well,
out when
in
it's only white.
Seattle and Portland, like I said, they are, because it is an Antifa agenda.
Right, right,
So are you
right.
surprised that the leader of the FBA people try to, cash in, to make this about, black immigrants? He said the cops are black immigrants.
Oh man, come on, man. Those guys are those guys are African Americans, bro. Those guys are African Americans. I mean, born and bred. This is the thing, right? When it looks bad on them, they want to blame it on people. When it looks good, they want, and that's just how America is. I'm not surprised this is happening. Police officers in general do a
Yeah.
lot of things. The police officers in general do a lot of things, be it black, be it white. Now, when people want to come here and sugarcoat, oh, police officers be doing this, they're doing that, bro. Majority, every one of them, it don't matter if you're black or white. And so I'm not gonna, when people say, oh, Black Lives Matter, I think all lives matter, because see, the people that are actually doing these things, they black. And man, come on, man. So I'm not surprised.
You're not shocked at all.
Right. The problem that you saw how I'm thinking that's the Tennessee law, because another problem that they were trying to come up with was like, oh, why the black police officers got charged quick? What happened? But maybe that's a Tennessee law. You cannot use that law in Tennessee to say, okay, if it was other white police officers, it will have taken 6 months. The law charged quick than other state. So I think, man, they committed a crime and they pay for it. I mean, lives
Well,
matter, right?
yeah. Well, some of the other people, if you look at it, about Van Jones on CNN. You know Van Jones, right?
Yeah, I know Van Johnson. Yeah.
Can you imagine Van Jones tried to say this is white supremacy, but he did not explain how. What do you think about that?
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
No, I said Van Jones, he said this is white supremacy. And some of the B1 people, they are dancing around it. They are saying, oh, you look at it. They arrested the black cops right away. So do the blacks, this black quote unquote B1 people, are they looking for real justice, or they are just, like their justice is only towards white people, but they're afraid to come out directly and say, no, we want a payback on white people. Are you there, Judah?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So what do you think it is? Because clearly this is, because remember they were saying, oh man, like Van Jones, and others, like they were saying,
this is the
oh,
thing, right?
with the George Floyd thing, they went crazy, right? But now, like people,
They try
so like the
in a
hypocrisy.
democratic party,
Huh?
trying to make you believe party, right?
Judy, I don't know what's going on with your network.
Oh, let me.
Go back out and get in, okay? Kidola, welcome to the Afridamus report. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, bro.
Kidola, are you?
You hear me?
Yes. Did you
Okay.
follow? Did you see the tape that I showed about the black American getting beat up by 5 black American cops? You know, before they always say is white, white, white. But are you shocked and surprised to see that 5 black American officers ganging up on one person and beating him right in front of the world?
First of all, I want to say it's very shocking that how can these people, a fellow black man, even the white will not even do it against the white, just like that.
Right.
You know, but these black guys could do it against a fellow black man who is even powerless. These 5 guys are very hefty guys. It's just to pick him up, allow him to stand, handcuff his hand back, just what some African police are doing, then just put him on the spot. You know, first of all, they threaten him. I think it's human nature to get panic because the way they were pointing those guns towards him, he looked very scared. You know, he was panicking. He thought the black police. I think he thought things would be calm, but he now realized his life is even in danger.
Right.
So what you see is a systematic of people already being victimized, now carry the
same mentality to carry it out
against their own people.
Yeah.
That's what you see in people who are calling themselves Pan-Africanists or FBA or ADOS are doing against themselves now. They now find a new route to Africa and Caribbean migrants. You know?
Yeah. Are you there? Because you know Tariq Nasheed, leader of the FBA people.
Yeah. I've seen that.
He came out with wrote on Twitter, tried to imply to get the people riled up to say these officers who are black Americans. He's trying to say they are black immigrants.
Because he want to get money towards again. He want to. It's a source. It's a source of him making his own money. You see, the people that are hold on first.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me just 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll bring. Go ahead.
Yes, Afridamus. I don't know if you can hear me now, but this is the thing, right?
I can hear you now.
Okay, this is the thing, right? Black people in this country should learn how to respect police officers, no matter what skin color the police officer is, right? Because if we see what happened, right, the guy was he got. I think he was leaving the scene or something. He did not follow to instructions, and that's when the brutality came in. Most of the time, when I get stopped by police officers, right, I follow all the instructions. A police officer one time even asked me of my social security number, and I did not argue. I had to give him my social security number. Forum with him, I'll take it to the court. I don't stand there and argue. You follow the instruction no matter what. And most of the time, when you don't follow the instructions, back up and all. Are we for taking force? Yes, they probably did the exaggerate.
Right.
People.
Judah, you have to understand.
And things because.
Judah, you're stalling. Hold on.
Judah, let me tell you something. These people are already be traumatized. Look, what I found out in America is what I started seeing is an average black man is very scared. When I mean black American, they're very, very scared. Especially they're scared of the authority. They're scared of people that govern them. Even when it's a police sign, they're very, very scared.
You're right. And when they come in contact, the way they act is like overreaction to the fear. Because the police, the way I mean, those police were overly aggressive on him, to
Yes,
be
because
honest.
they don't
They were
know what
overly
I see.
aggressive.
Yeah, what I
But
see
before they
there.
got overly aggressive,
No,
Judah,
Judah. No, Judah. Like, did you see when they came? He's trying to get him out of the car. Did you see that?
I saw that, but before the situation, before they got aggressive, did you know what happened? Because that's what I'm telling you, that
Yeah,
they
but
get
no.
aggressive
Hold on.
only when things have gone in a certain extent. That's the problem.
Well, they said he was driving reckless driving, but Judah.
Exactly, and they
So,
tried to
but
stop him. He was
no, but he
he didn't
stopped.
stop.
But
He
again,
didn't stop immediately.
hold on, Judah. Judah. Okay, he stopped, right? Fine. Let's say it's reckless driving, right? But now they got him. It's 5 of them. Every one of them screaming and yelling commands at him. So, are you trying to say like they were justified in doing
I,
what they did?
I wouldn't say they were justified, right? But when he was driving reckless, when they say he didn't stop immediately, he was still doing it. When
Right. Well, if
right,
you say, I would agree with you when they got him down, right?
right.
When he resisted, because anyone in America, how that's gonna go. Even if your hand goes the opposite way, it's considered resisting, you know? And I mean, unfortunately, they've been selling a lie. And the lie is they said, oh,
He
it is the white cops. So they,
he should have.
like instead of
I
teaching
mean,
people to just comply.
Judah, what I found out is this. Let me just use this word. There's nothing like love among themselves. That just 100%. There's nothing like love among themselves. This pretending of
the
unity
thing,
of
if you don't comply to,
forget police,
I
forget
mean,
police. I've
they
seen in circumstances whereby white police stop a white fellow. Yes, they have the way they approach them is very calm. Only when that white person want to show some kind of uh, irritant before those police will even go wild on them, but not on a black man. The society where you stay in, what it is really. It's a society of cowboy. Let's just be honest. It's a cowboy
Yeah.
society. You don't pull it. Okay, they stop him. He stopped. They asked him. They were commanding him. He was shocked. First of all, he was scared, very very scared.
Yes.
It's okay. That okay already. That guy already submit himself down. Okay. I'm down. Just pick him up, intimidate him, handcuff him, allow him to stand in one place, question him. That just all. But when they started tasing him, in woman nature, he said, "I'm dead." He
Mm-hmm.
have to run from his life, and that's what their ancestors have been doing for a very long time. They follow the pattern of their ancestors. Run, run, gumbo, run, what, run as far you can so that you not be killed. It's the same system they're still using until today. A typical black American will see a policeman. If you have a space, it will take off. It will run. It will run very, very far. That's what you see. This guy, when this guy realized these are not just his brothers, these are people that are ready to kill him, he have to run. That's this human nature to run. Then when they got him and they started beating him, even after do the arrest or uncover him. So that's what they did to him. You understand me? That's what they just did to him. So the love of this so-called B1, look, all of those that claim to be, how can somebody in Alabama who originated in the South, who came to California to look for a life, and wrote a book of pimping, be your leader?
It is a good question.
How can somebody who talk about pimping, originally from Alabama, a farm territory, whereby that's what his ancestors were doing anyway in the farm? Most black Americans are farmers. All this was that they build America, they do this, they do that. It's a shenanigan. The white people built black America. The white people built America.
those are all gone down state, man. Gone down state.
So what you see now, the so-called the guy who was eating other, he thought he could eat other the African flag. That didn't work out. I don't think that guy will ever go to Africa anymore. This guy is on his last stage on that chair where he's sitting down in California. You understand? That's where he's just sitting down and making money, trying to make money out of his own people. He says he's fighting for. The way those policemen behave to those guys, that's what he's also doing to his own fellow FBA.
Exactly. Because he has no empathy for them. He doesn't care because
he doesn't care about them.
Yeah.
So what you see, what these police are doing to this guy, that's what he's also doing to so-called FBA people. That he's selling them all kind of backward things, but he's the only one gaining. He's just the only one gaining. But those lowly ones who have a very low self-esteem, scared to come out to go and look for real life, scared to come out to have ambitions, always have white man, putting them down. They always, because that's what they discovered, that the average black American is always down, but the white man is always on his head. You understand me? That's why they come out to this YouTube. Now Africa is a new game because Africa doesn't have that kind of inferiority complex they have. You understand me? Because Africa never faced what they face in the United States.
Right.
When African come to the United States, he already have self-esteem of himself, and he already know what he want to achieve in the next 5 years. You understand? So they don't have those things. The highest they will go from themselves is the type of rims they will have on their cars. You understand me? 22-inch. You understand? That's just all. That's what they have for themselves. And then when the authority come back home, they get panic. That's why their politicians are not doing nothing for them. It's the same thing.
But if you look at it, Kidola, with every time a black man dies by the hands of police, as of late, like this very quote-unquote president, Joe Biden, he's supposed to be the president, right? How come these people are coming out making statements, making it seem like it's about race, but they are the ones in charge? What laws are they putting in place to make sure the police don't have this power to do what they are doing? But again, you have another guy, Van Jones, the one I played, who is in the Democratic plantation. Do you know the one that was pretending to cry? Did you see that?
That guy was always crying when even Donald Trump won the election.
Yeah. So like people like him, this word racism, is definitely, gives him a lot of money and fame, because there's somebody benefiting, and I can assure you.
Black elite.
Yes.
Those are called black elite. Who say they're the black elite of
who call themselves that, but there is somebody. There are people who benefit from this, and these are not even blacks themselves. It's people that own the blacks that are benefiting from the black death.
The elite, the so-called elite who select themselves. Let's just be honest.
Isn't it crazy? Like the way these people talk, right? Sometimes it seems like they've already have like a backroom handshake amongst each other, like, and say, hey, the blacks belong to us. Don't touch them, don't nothing. Anything, we are in charge. Like, they vote for us, if they get killed, we are the ones that benefit from it. Because the way some of these white liberals are coming out talking, and also the black, and it's the same old people, same group of people. But this same group of people, you can go back and look years, like few years ago, they were the same people that were arguing in favor of cops when cops kill blacks. But now the tide have changed. It's better to argue in favor of blacks. So these people go, wherever the money is.
Look, they will jail these black policemen. They will not jail them. They will jail them for life. They will jail them for a very long time, because the people that will judge them, they're going to be white guys, white judges.
Well, it might even be black judges. See, that's the mistake people make. Like, just like even these cops, again, they want you to believe that the injustice is going to come from the white. But if you look at this right here, these are black cops. These are black cops.
These black
that
cops
did
are not going
this.
to go to jail. There's nobody going to be. They don't have influence. The so-called police association is not going to represent them. They're not going to spend much money on what they would do to save other ones. And what you will be seeing right now, this is what I said, they don't have love. They're not united. They don't, you see, they can come and say FBA deals to themselves. That's why the money they try to get from the American government, they were not able to get it, because you can't tell me somebody in Texas will agree with somebody in New York or somebody in California and all these things. They're not in one page. If you check the elected elites, whereby they put some of them sitting 40 years in some of these Senate houses, only have good health insurance for themselves, live on the big mansions. That's what they do for themselves, right?
Right.
They continue persuading their people to vote for them, but without not having interest of their people in their mind. You see, the Latinos are coming. The Latinos are now the largest minority group now in the United States. So the Latinos is already having their own agenda. The competition now, this is where the whole game play out now. The Latinos doesn't have the complexion the Black Americans have. I mean, the Africans were able to divide and make game with the Latinos easily, because both of them operate on the same level, which is go and get it. But the Black Americans doesn't have that spirit yet, because they still complain about what happened to them.
Yeah, no love. I mean, those cops, clearly, man, those cops, I get it, you're a cop, but man, they definitely have no love in
they
them,
don't.
man.
There's no love. Let me just tell you the truth. They don't love themselves. And the moment
that was super hateful what they did.
The moment that black guy saw it and noticed these black guys are going to kill him, he panicked. You understand?
Yeah.
It's a woman nature to panic. Let me just tell you the truth. They said to these hustlers, this so-called FBA, these nonsense idiots are also doing. They go around and say kumbaya. Not only him, all of them. Some of them are even out of black race hustle. Some of them are driving Rolls Royce out of it.
Oh yeah, they make a lot of money from it.
They make a lot of money to suppress their own people, to violate them. This is what happened now. Is here on the plantation game, whereby look, that's what they brought to Liberia. If you check the whole nonsense, when they brought themselves to Liberia, they cause the same type of mentality, right? They go after the native, try to intimidate them, try to suppress them. Then what happened? The natives started looking at them like, whoa. Without the native, they said the natives started selling slaves. But for you to come in, then you see, when we talk about Liberia, they said, no, Liberia, no. They said that they operate Liberia. Liberia was already a cooking pot that was supposed to blow off. But the indigenous were not having the power at that time. But when the indigenous come to power, check what Samodo said. He said, these rats are finally gone. You understand me? That's what he said when he came to power. He said, these rats are gone. If they have love with each other, 5 police black men with a 1 black guy, is to talk him over by using the words of control. They are policemen. They've been taught to calm people down.
The escalation technique, they call it, tactical verbal skills.
Yes, talk to him. Hey, come down, brother. Come down. But when that guy realized these black monsters are ready to eat him up, you have to run like Forrest Gumbo.
Yeah, his nature kicked in.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yes, the same thing we have in Africa, right? Where the black people that we think they are our government, right? They come in
what?
America.
Oh man,
like all these African Americans.
Yeah.
They are African Americans, they are black. No. And that's the same thing.
Judah, you keep breaking up. Are you on your Obama phone?
I'm guessing probably.
Okay, hold on. Fix it. Let's bring in Mr. IC3 Black. Mr. IC3
great.
Black.
Thank you for inviting me on. Yeah, you're on
welcome
interesting
to the
topic.
Yes. Are you familiar?
Thank you.
Are you on top of things about the black man in America who got killed by, 5 black police officers.
Yes, I heard about it, but I don't know the details because it appears because it seems to be a rotate every now and then. This is how I see it. Every now and then, like it's like you're sacrificing a chicken. So in order to maintain the system of white supremacy, every periodically they will sacrifice a chicken or kill a black man, and then it all flares up, and then it calms back down, and then so it's a procedure. It's I see it as a ritual. It's a ritual in order to maintain the system.
The system. You know what is very interesting? It's very interesting, what you're saying, because I've heard other people also say what you said right here. They said it's like a sacrificial ritual. But the thing is usually it's pushed through racism, right? But this time around, it is 5 black cops. What do you make of that? Like, how can people spin that and try to turn it into racism? Because even the America's president is trying to get people to see it in terms of black and white.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah. See, the system of white supremacy has been around for a long time. The white supremacists have been managing black people for hundreds of years. It's a long time. So when it first started, it was guns, yes, and violence. But as time goes on, they refine the system so that they don't lose so many of their people. And so, and at the height of the system, they even sacrifice white people. So they'll sacrifice black people on a regular, but every now and then
they're sacrificing
a white one.
They're sacrificing a bunch of white babies.
That's right. So they have to put in a white sacrifice. It's a business. It's a global business, and so they have to make sacrifices. So sometimes they sacrifice their own. So what there is there's white supremacy, and there's white people, and then there's non-white people, black people. So sometimes those white people, the lower class white people that have been chosen for sacrifice, they're the ones that you call liberals. They're going to come and start saying, "Oh, I understand what black people are going through because they're feeling the pain as well because they've been selected to die, to die." So to address your question directly, by selecting 5 black people, black police to make the sacrifice of the black, it's the same thing like how the slave masters used to get one black person to whip another black person. Do you understand?
So it was white supremacy. Wait, you can't keep continuing with this, man. So it was white supremacy that woke up in the morning and called those 5 black men to go whip that black guy.
Mike, are you saying this has nothing to do with white supremacy?
Are you kidding me, Afridamus? Are you saying just to get along with IC3? What does white supremacy have to do with this thing that just happened, man?
You don't understand what white supremacy is.
Exactly, Mike.
Man, forget there's no white. Stop this white supremacy, man. Come on, stop it. Let's just stop blaming. Listen, we are here. First of all, I always find it insulting when you keep saying white supremacy is the reason why everything we do, like can't think for ourselves. As if we're black people, we're monkeys and need someone to tell us what to do. We don't know how to think or something. Come on, man. It's like everything when we fought is white supremacy that make us do it. When we do anything, when we take a shit, it's a white supremacy that make us take a shit. Stop it, man. I find it insulting. I have brains.
Let's break this down.
There's no white supremacy controlling everything I do, man.
Yeah, okay. So you see, your position is opposite to my position. But you
don't have a position, man. You have imaginary white supremacy. Stop it.
Okay.
Man.
Hold on. One moment. Mike, let me make this point. So, Mike, I don't know, maybe you know Mr. IC before, but
I have known him. Trust me, we have.
Okay, but IC, what IC3 is saying here is not too far fetched because I played here a video. Maybe you must have missed it. Van Jones, you know Van Jones, right?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah,
from CNN. Van Jones is saying that this is white supremacy, just like IC3 is describing this. You see what I'm saying? So it's not
Van Jones
only
is not different from IC3. It's not different. That generation of black
okay.
people,
Okay,
they're
make your
stuck with Jim
okay.
Crow era. You know,
So Mike, what do you think motivated this?
those guys that beat up that guy. Let me tell you
Yes.
what it is. Let me tell you what the motivation is.
Mm-hmm.
People, if you in America, we all know like black neighborhoods. What comes out of that? Whether it's the
Like, what do you
behavior.
mean?
Let me. I'm trying to tell you things that come out of there. I'm not saying black people, all black people accept that thing, but things that come out of there, whether it's the music that come out of there, the dressing, the pants sagging, the behavior that come out of there. It doesn't mean everyone that live there behave like that, but certain behavior that come out of there disgust people a lot. You understand? And I will tell you example of one of my friends, a police officer, a Liberian guy, name I forgot his name. I think Charles.
No, Mike.
I'm trying to explain to
Mike,
you what
wait,
motivated.
Mike.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, wait, Mike. This is not a good time to bring a Liberian police officer, like an African
No,
police
I'm not saying that. I say he's a friend of mine. I'm just saying.
No. What I mean,
Okay, a friend of mine.
Mike,
Forget Liberia. I'm just saying.
no, Mike. Don't even bring immigrant police officer in this.
Okay, police officer.
Hold on. Tariq Nasheed is already trying to pass this FBA guy's ass.
Oh, okay.
Here you come telling us about Liberian police officers.
Oh, sorry.
Liberians never sign up for being police. Mike,
No,
can you
sorry. Okay, several police officers. Let me just say, but this guy particularly.
no.
But let me say.
Wait,
let me tell
you mean your FBA police officer friend?
Okay, police officer. Yeah. I'm just saying police officer. Friends that are police
Thank you.
officer. Basically, a friend is a police officer in general. He said this is what he deals with, right? As a police officer, whenever he drive through neighborhood during patrol, whenever he drive through white neighborhood, Spanish neighborhood, even African neighborhood, they will wave at him like, "Hey, good morning, officer." He said whenever he drive through Black American neighborhood, you see one little boy just give a middle finger, say "fuck you," you know, like they would just like they have this hatred for cops in most of these black neighborhoods. So when cops, as a police officer, imagine when you drive through a neighborhood, the kind of energy you get, like the people. Not everyone that live there. It's just a it's just a minority of people there.
Mike, wait, but Mike, you're going around. But
no, I'm trying
to
answer your question.
But
You
hold
asked
on,
me.
this Tyre, right? This Tyre Nichols, fine. He did not flip the cops over. He didn't do any of this. So
you're right. I'm trying to go to where you're saying what motivated. I'm trying to explain it to you. What motivated is that a lot of police officers are disgusted.
But they are black too. No, but these cops are black too.
They're black, exactly. But no, don't get me wrong now. In the black neighborhood, the people that even hate the blacks the most are blacks.
So there's no love.
There's no love. That's just the reality, man. In the black neighborhood, the decent black don't like the other blacks. They don't like. There's no love. You come on. You and I have lived in America for decades, man. Come on now. You know, there's no love between black Americans, and there's no love between the black Americans. Take their hatred among themselves. They bring it towards even the Africans, the black immigrants. There's this. I don't know what it is. This program about them that they just hate their own race. Like among themselves, they can't. You put 10 black American in the room, there's going to be a fight. You know that they can't be together.
You think this is motivated by their hate for Tyre? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know those officers. What I think is what's motivated by is as police officer, maybe other things they've been dealing with all day has been accumulating. It's been piling. What they've been dealing with all day. Maybe every black person they pull over, give them attitude, or when they drop to the black neighborhood.
Mike, come on.
Listen, I'm going there.
Mike,
are you? Afridamus, I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm listening. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
What I'm trying to explain is, I'm not. What they did was absolutely wrong.
You. Okay, fine.
No, what they did. No. Afridamus, I think you know allowing me to learn. So that's why you're taking me out of context.
No, I just wanna get you clear.
If you let me get across, you understand what I'm. What I'm trying to say.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, obviously there needs to be there has to be more training as far as officers how to understand that you can't let your whatever it is your job like let you go overboard, like get to the get your what's the word get your back against the wall where you have to do the wrong thing. You understand? But what I'm telling you is police officers deal with things all day long. You understand? So sometimes when
Mike, have you seen this video?
I've seen it, and what those guys did was wrong, absolutely, completely wrong. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you, that they need to train cops to understand that No matter what you deal with on the job,
you
you
mean train them
cannot
to be
you can
human beings?
you cannot lose it. Say it again.
Train them to be human beings.
No, they're humans. Train them to be beyond human.
But
Meaning,
you can't be beyond human. Did you
no,
see?
what I mean by beyond human is train people to understand human nature. You have to know your. That's the difference between. Wait, hold on. That's the difference between educated man and an uneducated man. Because as an educated person, you're taught to understand your human nature and how to control, to work with your nature and to make better decisions, right, than an average human being, right? That's the difference between an educated man and uneducated man. Educate human nature, we have instinct of violence and things like that. But when you're educated to understand that, hey, because it's your nature to be violent, doesn't mean you can just act violent. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. Like, they have to teach the cops to understand that. Listen, I understand this job is stressful. You have to deal with neighborhoods where you walk in, people insult you or give you a middle finger, or you have to deal with certain demographic of people that give you attitude all day. It doesn't mean you lose it.
But Mike, that wasn't the case here. Like, let me, like, these guys, they chose to be cops, right? They know what's involved.
They know, but they're still human. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, okay. But again, I'm just saying, they know what is involved. You're dealing with other humans. But what we're talking about here, like what I've seen is, these people is not okay. Fine, you're a cop, you're trained to do this, but common sense, 5 people, right? 5 people over 1 at that point, right? Forget that cop training. Like, the human part should kick in. You handcuff somebody who is restrained and kicking him, spraying, beating him. I mean,
they acted out of anger and
yeah,
hatred.
that's how can you explain that?
And when I listen to those guys talk, it's very obvious they're not very educated. I think.
But Mike, you keep saying educated, but what type of education? Because
those guys sound like
one can be educated,
man.
Right? You can have the wrong education.
Or they're poorly educated. The way they spoke, they didn't sound very articulate, man.
But don't
I
you
mean, these
think,
days, man, they're hiring everybody in the police department. So nowadays, they're begging people to join because a lot of back in the day used to be a bunch of white people that used to be like
but Mike, the way they treated that guy, right? Mike, the way they treated that guy,
it was
nobody, no one can train. If you were already, your heart is programmed like that, no one can train you out of it. Their power went through their head. And, like Abraham Lincoln said, he said, you wouldn't know what a man is capable of until you give him power.
Power, exactly.
Right? So I'm speaking from a point of view. I used to be a corrections officer, and I have seen situations like this. I know the mentality of some of the people on the force, and I saw that behavior here. Like they cannot train them not to think like this. It's crazy.
They pretty much gave power to a bunch of ignoramus. Because those guys, when you listen to them, you see how ignorant they were sounding when they were even talking. You listen to that, I'm like, who gave these guys power? Look at it. This sounded so dumb. Like, it's like these guys were a bunch of high school dropouts, man.
Look,
I mean, I'm like, why would you give power to guys like this?
Hold on, Kidola was saying something. Go ahead, Kidola.
What you see, look, what you you see now, right?
Yeah.
What you see now is a game. Look, there's a movie called Kunta Kuti, right?
Yeah, Kunta Kuti, Roots. Yeah,
Roots. There was a guy called Chicky George.
Yeah,
right. Who were flocking Kunta Kuti by trying to name
another black like this of officers.
Yeah, another black guy.
Yeah.
So when you see, they live in a society whereby race counts a lot over there. You understand me? It's a racial divided society. It's not really kind of like, no matter how they want to end up. I feel sorry for the guy that black guy that died, because really, as a human being, right? I cannot be in a country like United States and I'm a police officer. As for the other fellow black guy, I will go so hard when the guy actually have no gun. The guy was already submitting, like, okay. See, he's already submitting already. Scared is already in his eyes. And these police people, that's so, look,
the problem is not submitting. The problem is he took them on a cruise. All these things accumulate.
Jude, as a police, if you're a police officer, that's bound to happen. Someday you're gonna chase some people. That doesn't mean when you catch them, you beat them up.
In London, police will chase you. Highest will be able to get. They'll come out without their batting in the side of them and try to demonstrate to you. They will use it to restrain you. That other wood batting.
You know what? Hold on. I got a question for Mr. IC3 expression. Mr. IC3 made a point. IC3, do you think these people were acting under the command of white supremacy?
Yes, duress. It's the same model that the African leaders, when people call the African leaders stupid, they say African leaders have got no intelligence. No. The African leaders are making decisions in Africa under duress of the white supremacists, indirect. And the people don't see it, so they think that African leaders are stupid. They're not stupid.
How can you be making decisions under the duress of white supremacists and you're not stupid?
Look. I understand. I don't know.
They are stupid. Come on, man. If they're doing that, then they're stupid.
As a policeman, I don't know where
they've got their family to look after.
They don't do the job. They quit. Don't do it. You have a choice.
Afridamus, is it
you think it's that easy?
Huh? If I'm the president of Africa and a white man is trying to tell me to do things I shouldn't do, I will just step down.
Is this guy Pan-African policeman? Who is it, sir? I don't really understand this guy.
Mr. IC3, he's asking, he said, are you a Pan-African policeman?
Because I would have loved you to arrest Judah because it would be very nice.
Hey, Kidola, shut up. Kidola, shut up.
Kidola, you want Judah arrested?
No, I love this uniform guy to arrest Judah right now because it would be nice to see how it is really. You see, we see everything. People that believe in white is always in every place. Nah. They're just a group of policemen who take a very wrong decision to intimidate this young man, and finally the young man lost his life due to the heavy beating. I don't know how he died, maybe injuries.
So it's interesting how Kidola framed this, like you said, it's like the plantation. Because when the slave run, it is the other black, they used to have the other blacks that work for the plantation that chase them down. Remember in Roots?
That's right. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Please, let me make a point, right? When I see things like this, I always don't go by what happened at that point. I'm always into like what is the previous, what happened before the incident. That's always where I come, because I've gotten into several situations and I've seen people gotten into several situations. If this guy will have calmed down and follow and comply, he will have survived what happened to him. I'm telling you the truth. I go by, and that's just my point.
The guy lost his life. It's a very big pity. And what you see play out is the same system that you see some of their members. Look, these people have been in that territory for about 500 years. They see having the same problem. No really representative for them that can quench this harassment.
But these cops were supposed to be a good rep for black, because remember, people will always say, oh man, if black people want the shootings to stop in their community, they have to have black cops, because they say black cops will treat them better.
They all face the same kind of trauma. It's a trauma. It's a trauma. You see, we can say it as we want to say it. The trauma.
Afridamus, I want to make a statement.
Hold on, let him finish. Then Judah, you can follow through. Go ahead, Kidola.
Let me give you an example.
No, I just wanted to inform people that I'm not a Mormon. That's it.
Well, you can tell them when your chance comes.
I don't live in the States, right? I'll give you one example. This is not about club now, right?
Yeah.
I come across me and some Igbo boys at that time with these guys, right? In a very quiet place. This Black America guy were hanging around with the white English girl, right? Then we just came in, we just came in from the metro. We just saw them, it was a quiet time. So when we say, hey bro, what you doing? Why are you sitting on the floor? This guy respond, I respond out. He was very, very scared. Very, very scared. Was very, very scared. He asked her, what? Hey, calm down. What's your problem? Why are you shouting? So the scaredness is already in them. You understand me? The scaredness is already in them. Then the girlfriend have to ask, calm down. They just want to ask you, well, we thought something was wrong with him because the way he sat on the ground. I don't know. It looked like something.
As soon as so when the cop came, he behaved like that.
Yes. So even when we were coming up, we were kind of asking him, what's wrong, bro? What's wrong with you? Are you okay? He has pump out. He was very, very scared. This guy was even in Europe, not even in America, even in Europe. Then the girlfriend, the English guy, have to say, calm down, relax. They just ask you what's wrong with, are you okay, and everything. We just want to know if it's okay, but we now found out Mabi was heavily drunk or something like that. We're just okay, have a nice day, bro. So is what is their experience, and the experience, their blood, their ancestors passed towards them. Their forefathers are scared. Their great fifth grandfather are scared. Their grandfather is scared. Their own fathers are very, very scared. So them also have the blood of that kind of anxiety. That anxiety that plays out with this guy that died, this young man that died. This young man, at first, you could see that he was having some kind of confidence in him, like, okay, my hands up. But the moment he started looking into their eyes, he started seeing these guys are ready to finish him up.
Yeah.
You understand me? He started saying things psychologically. He started timing in mind, whoa, these guys, these are B1 people. These are ready to finish me. Then when they said they would tase him, the fear started coming already inside his mind, and it's going down. So that panic, and this,
Kidola, the funny thing is, these blacks that are fired, I'm sure they're gonna fire them. They would eventually become B1, like pro-blacks. Like that Hebrew Israelite leader, the one I did this video here. He used to be a cop. So isn't that suspicious? He used to be a cop, but now he's B1.
They will give it to a guy called Nakmizi. You understand? You see, these are their leaders sit in the Senate and House of Rep for years on years. They don't do nothing for them. They just.
But you see, Kidola, what you said here is interesting. You see, like the trauma, right? Like on CNN, MSNBC, American TV, like these TVs, they constantly, like they literally, it's like a machine. Their job is to keep black people in fear, like black Americans.
Yeah, they continue to reinforce.
Yeah, they never let them forget about. They never let them forget about. Slavery. It's a deliberate thing.
Every year they have to make movies about reminding them that, hey, this is who you are. This is how you think. This is what your reality is.
Even showing these killings, right?
Exactly.
There's some, like, what is the purpose of showing it? I want you guys to talk on that. Why do you guys think they are showing these killings?
Exactly. Do you notice? Like, if you go look at numbers right now, you find out that there's been maybe a Chinese guy or a Hispanic guy or a white guy that's shot somewhere by police somewhere in America. But they just want to push that on the news. They're not going to say, oh, white guy was killed by police, unarmed white guy or unarmed Chinese guy. But the moment one unarmed black person get killed by police, oh, okay, we got to put it on the news. We got to make it a big thing, or even if it doesn't have nothing to do with race or even any motivation, maybe a cop just act stupid, or even the accidental one, they'll still put it on the news.
I think it's their way of trying to.
Okay, why are you only reporting? Yeah, so I'm saying, why are you only reporting when the black person gets shot by the police? Why don't you just report citizens getting shot by police? Why does he have to be only the black one?
When he used to hang the enslaved people.
You mean by the neck, like lynching them?
Yeah, they're reminding them. Yeah.
So everybody can see. So it's modern day lynching. You kill and everybody watch and say, you see, this is what we can do.
Yeah. It's a reminder that we're still lynching you or something like that.
That's right.
Even though that's not the reality today, everybody gets killed by police, dude. It's all over the world, man. If you go to Africa, go to Asia, go to China, go to any country in the world, you will find a story of a person get killed by police. It's just happened. That's what police do.
What you should know, so the white people also have their root. Look, when people say no, the black people doesn't. Some black people, they're not the black people. Never say they have a home in Africa. If you check the white Americans, you see the difference between a confident set of race and not confident set of race. The white people still know they are from Europe. They say, hold up. Most of them know where their ancestors are coming from Europe. Let's just be honest. A typical white America will tell you neither his father is German or is Dutch or is British or is Swedish or is Denmark and all these things. You understand? But
Yeah.
but a typical black America, which I now believe in majority of them now claiming Blackfoot, Turtle Island, and Indians. So when you don't know your base, your foundation, you'll be treated as an animal.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know why a Chinese American who even live in America for similar years as Black America have more respect, have more base? Because a Chinaman will tell you I'm from China. You understand me? And most of them, the one that went back to build up China. You understand me? So this Black American doesn't have a base. They wander around. You understand? The few ones that come to Africa are now claiming reality TV over there. You understand? So that's what you're seeing. So they see like people who see float around. The Latinos, most of them are from Mexico. They will never deny because they stay in America for all those years. Say, oh, don't think I'm an American, but Mexicana. The so-called all those ones, they all come together. The other ones, all those Salvadorans and all those other ones, they all come together to form a one group that make them even more powerful now in United States. But where do you find Black Americans? It's how to hate a joke and hate at Africans and create a scene to call Africa smell, Africa this, Africa that. When you don't have a base, when you don't have a foundation, you will never be, you'll be restless. And you'll be treated as anything as they want to treat you. Because you have nowhere to call home. You have nowhere to go to. That is what Black Americans are facing now in United States.
But I don't believe that someone is treating them though, because look, right? We have gotten. Let me make a small statement.
Judah, hold on, Judah. I think he's talking about psychologically.
Psychologically, these people doesn't have. If they tie themselves to a place, okay, I'm Black. My ancestors be brought from Africa. I'm from there. Then you start having that psychological base of kind of like self-esteem. You understand? That strong self-esteem. People say, why African people have self-esteem? Because self-esteem was already being built into us right when we were growing up. And we already know the base where we're coming from, the foundation. But they don't have it. They adapt into a culture, the people that catch up them and train them into who they are up to today. So what you see now, what those 5 cops did is what the people that adopt them as their own and train them into who they are. That's what they carry, because there's no love. They don't see each other as one. Go after this.
Go ahead, Mr. IC.
Yeah.
Judah, hold on. Judah, allow Mr. IC.
Yeah. I know Michael probably disagree with this, but this is how you see the world. There's a planet, there's a planet, the Earth, yes, but the world is a construct. When you speak about the world, yes, the word world is different from the planet. A world is a construct, a link between different institutions and so on, and the map itself. If you're not part of the world, you'll be not put on the world map. So the world is a construct. So the world is a prison system from the Black African perspective.
Elaborate on that. Explain.
Right. So I'll elaborate on that. So the prison system of the world, the construct is a financial ecosystem. The prison works through finances. So even though there are people in Africa that may never have seen a white person, and they'll understand and say, well, obviously there's no white supremacy because there's no white people around here. But you see, the prison system works through the finance. So those people in different parts of Africa, when they want to take their goods to market, the market itself is run directly or indirectly through the system of white supremacy,
because
so
they are receiving.
They
are receiving the moment you receive the currency, you're within that system.
Yes, that's right. You're straight into the prison system. That's right. That's right. That's it. So that's why it's an open prison. It's an open prison. And so what happens is the prison system of white supremacy, you have the prison owners, right, just running like a hotel, and then you have the prison guards, the staff, the prison staff. So all white people, all of them are prison guards, and black people are in
Wait.
the
You
prison.
said all the white people.
Yes.
So
Yes.
explain that.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at the model of a prison, you'll have prison guards.
I used to be a prison guard. I've worked as a prison
Good.
officer.
So you test me out on this analogy. So in a prison, you'll have good prison guards, yeah, and then what they will do, they want to keep their job, but they'll just try to make life as good as possible for the prisoners. Yeah, they might have find out some good information or bring in some games or something for the prisoners.
No,
So
that's
they're trying
illegal.
to make.
That's illegal.
Okay. Yeah, it's illegal. It's
Yeah,
illegal.
you can maintain good relationship just by being fair. You don't impose your own new rules. Let them get what they legally can have
deserve
and
That's right.
deserve, and don't try to impose your own will. You can you can flow by with no problem.
Right, and then there's the bad prison guards, right? Well, they may be bored and want to pass their time by abusing the prisoners.
You're right about that.
You see, so there's the two. So basically, white people, because they're classified as white, it puts them in that prison system.
But what if they are black, like these officers who are black?
Okay, so watch this. So those black officers, they're still prison class, they're still prisoners, but the prison management or the prison guards may be allowed or might not be allowed to sometimes give privileges to certain prisoners. So they start saying, well, okay.
You're onto something here, because when I worked in the prison, even though I have the badge and power, I did feel like a prisoner sometimes, most of the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. So yes. Yeah, that's it. So if I'm saying that if we follow the prison analogy, keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper, you'll see it does fit. So those police officers, they are they're prisoners, but they're given certain privileges. But they're still and also
you're right, because there's some of the blacks, they would give them promotion. They do give them promotion for no reason. And when you think about it, their mindset and how they operate, it's like they are rewarded for that.
Yes.
So you're onto something here, to be honest. You're onto something. I've seen it.
So those white people will say, look, I'm not racist. There's not a racist bone in my body. I like black people. They're just the equivalent of a prison guard, but they don't want to lose their job. See, because to lose their job.
Oh, so they don't want to lose their white privilege.
Exactly. So they feel a bit guilty about their white privilege. So they'll try and help, try and make life follow the regulations and so on. But that job, their position is paying their mortgage. It's paying for their life, their livelihood.
But these officers, they're gonna lose that mortgage payment now because of the decision they've just made for being a white supremacist. Let me ask you this. This is interesting. You got an interesting perspective. So in this case, where you have, because you're saying like these black officers, right? They got the badge, the power, right? But they're in the white supremacist system.
That's right.
So do you think white supremacy would protect them for carrying out the job, or it is done and over, they are also going to be sacrificed to power the system? What do you think will happen?
Yes.
And again, if white supremacy is not going to stop support them, what decision, like what made them, throw them under the bus?
Okay. So basically, the black police are like the prison management choosing a few black people to come and be managers of the sports team within the prison. So they're going to have a football match within the prison, yeah, and then the prison management selects some black people to be managers. They choose them to be managers. So don't think that those black people who've been selected by prison management to have some kind of authority, to have a badge, don't you ever think that they are not prisoners. They're still prisoners, but they've been selected just to do a theater performance or to run a sports game, football game within the prison. Yeah, that's the status now. Sometimes the prison management can select. Well, you already said it. Sometimes they'll select black people to make a sacrifice of the other prisoners, of their fellow prisoners, and they say, "Well, you kill this one, or we'll get somebody else to do it."
You see,
I see three. You see, your generation. I think you guys are the problem of the today. I'm sorry, because what you guys supposed to be telling young people, young blacks today, it's not what it's not all these. Oh, it's the white man as responsible for you killing each other, or is it white supremacy system, this and that. What you should be teaching is how they can go out there and start doing the right thing for themselves, how within themselves they should conduct themselves, how to gain power, and that's what you guys supposed to be preaching. But your generation is not different from these people that got CNN like Van Jones and all these people.
So Mike, are you saying how he broke this down, right, is not true?
When he says the white that go tell the black to go kill another black and all these things, I'm not saying that a white person doesn't have desire. Some white person somewhere doesn't have a desire to have to
no, he's not
black killing blacks. That's not
no, he's not speaking
whatever I broke down. I didn't go ahead, yeah.
Okay, he's not speaking in those terms. He's telling you, he's saying how it is structured in this system where the white is dominant. You see black police officers or black officers, you would see some in certain position, they are chosen to run that. So he's not wrong about that.
Now let's make one thing clear though. The police
Van Jones and others are chosen to be put in that position to spew that propaganda that demoralizes blacks. They are chosen to be there to say these things.
That's right.
Okay. If I in a position of power in a company and I choose that maybe I don't like a group of people, like maybe let's say I don't like a group of Asians, and I go pick one Asian guy that's willing to take money to do whatever I say, and I begin to use him against his Asian community, right? His people, right? What the Asians are gonna do is go after that guy. They're not gonna be like, oh, it's Mike is the problem of our community. He's the one that's doing this and that and that. So if we have people that we believe that someone is using against us as one of us, that's what we should go after. You understand? In Africa, that's what we should be going after, because.
But what if they don't know though?
Who doesn't know? Who don't know?
I mean, this system is sophisticated. Like you look at it, like in America, it's like racialized, right? So they use, like, let's say it's people like Van Jones to gain the trust.
That's right.
Afridamus, let me tell you something, man. At the end of the day, right? The real power is the Constitution and the law. The law is there to govern everybody. No one is above the law. No one is beneath the law. You understand? So if somebody is manipulating,
do you truly believe that?
If you're saying people on the higher government on that level, things like that, I get it. But if you tell me that
I mean, you said nobody's above the law.
Afridamus, you know very well there's somebody violates your rights, right? as an individual, as a citizen, you know that okay, we're all under the same constitution. We're not black, white, green.
But again,
if you get your evidence together, gather your stuff together, you can sue that person and become rich.
Oh my God.
If you can prove your thing. So what I'm saying is,
who gets to decide?
who gets to decide? It's the law. It's the system. The law decides.
So do you think when you come into that place, you would be allowed to present or argue things based in reality, or they are going to create?
If you have a lawyer,
even if you have a lawyer,
a good lawyer.
What is a good lawyer? A good lawyer who gave
Let's
the
not
license?
overcomplicate things, man.
Who gave license to the lawyer?
Exactly.
What the hell are you guys talking about, man? Are you saying?
Have we ever talked about the food?
I know you know better than this, man. I mean, don't be like IC3 come from a Jiglo generation, so I get it. It's a Jiglo generation.
What do you talk about?
You know better than.
Hold on. One mic. Go ahead, Kidola.
I think we never really address the food system in United States, because the type of food I think some Black Americans are eating can also be a problem why they realize that. We never really talk about the food and some pollution also. You said.
Like when you say food and pollution, okay, explain. Go ahead.
Because there are some certain unhealthy food that most of them eat in that place. Have you ever seen sometime in that society, if you check, I understand America is a big society, but the real biggest ones and in the set of the Black Americans way also. So the food might not show in the body in some of them, but might also go towards the brain. You understand me?
Yeah, well, the food, food is good. The food that you take in is very important.
Yeah,
you're onto something here, because if you always eat fast food, it can affect you. But
so some of this food might resort to some. That's why you see some violent tenderness in some of this Black community, because we're not eating if you go and eat with a typical white person, it will put salad bowl on the ground, right? Salad bowl will always be some of the majority of them. I'm not talking about these truckers and all those ones. You understand me? If you go and eat with some of these cowboys also, you see they have a lot of beans and other things there, and also a lot of leaves also. But with the Black people, you can see pancake with sugar scroll, peanut butter, with other things. Some of them collect food stamp, or some of them, even they don't collect food stamps, they go straight to that corn full of butter, heavy barbecue, nothing nutrition into it. Why will you not create monsters? And most of them live in an area that's already been polluted with all kind of pollution, that they don't have the power to even find out what is even polluting their ground where they're staying. So all these things can also be factors that will contribute, apart from their what happened to them in the past, but the territory where they live can also be heavily polluted. Some of them might even be drinking lead water for years without them even not knowing. You understand me? That's why you can see most Black Americans, when they get very big, they grow breasts. You understand me? The women.
Oh, you mean like the men?
The men grow breasts.
Oh, they call that male titties.
Okay. The women are heavy to talk that they'll not find love in Africa, and so we've been already talking about the food system. Why are they like that? You see, when you don't eat healthy, this type of tenderness, start coming up, and these policemen might also not, even when they start getting good salary now, but what they eat in the past can also start affecting them, because the way they behave is almost look like madness.
Even those cops, man, they look out of shape too, man. They look like they've been hitting those kind of food.
That's what I'm saying. So the food. If Michigan problem did come out, nobody would have even know that lead was even being polluted.
But that was the place was run by and it's run by Blacks. The water was good until they put the Blacks in charge there. So that's what they're not telling you.
I saw some in Texas.
They put somebody there who was Black, but he's incompetent. he's the one that poisoned the
I
water.
also saw
He
some
didn't do it.
deaths.
He didn't even do it on purpose.
I also saw
The
some
guy's
deaths.
just doesn't have the
So
knowledge.
do you guys think the problem of black is just with incompetency and just lack of
No,
caring
no,
about?
no.
We
If
don't care
you
about our society. We don't care about ourselves, and then
nah,
others just look at us
nah.
and say, you know what? Since you guys don't care, okay, we just take whatever. We're not going to work hard to make your place good if you're not willing to participate in, So if you look at other community, the Asians, you understand, they care about their community, they participate. So before white people say they want to put poison water in the Asian neighborhood, the Asian people, we be aware and make sure they stand against that. But if we go to any black neighborhood and they want to dump anything there, no one cares.
Yeah, no one
It's
cares.
same with the African
Well,
countries.
well,
It's the same.
you know why? It's not
We don't
necessarily
care. At the end of the
black.
day, they
No,
will
Mike. It's not about if you go to an area where the people own the place. There's sense of ownership and lack of. If the people there own the houses, you're not gonna dump something there. So I don't really believe it's like I mean, it's interesting points you guys are bringing up, but yeah, if it's a housing area that is not owned by government, yeah, the people would care more if it's their property.
Let
That
me
I
let
would
me
agree, whether black or white.
let me make a point real quick, right? Look, Afridamus, talking about white supremacists, right, is gonna be different from an African point of view with people that are still under white people colonization or oppression, right?
Okay, explain.
People, okay, people from Africa, like the Africans from Africans, right? They had independence. They fought and they believe that they are free. They defeated the white man and gained independence. Now, when you come to the diaspora or in this country, the people that have these countries are white.
They're white.
Never on what, like everything that.
Judah, something is happening to your audio again.
Judah, look, there's
Is
nothing
white
I can do.
control. Let me finish. You guys have talked for a little bit, right? It's white control. Take for instance, right? If Africa was still under the dominance or what was happening in South Africa, right? How do you think the South Africans will react if the white people were still over them? They would think everything is controlled by white people. If white people were still in control. So this is the thing. Now let me digress to somewhere else, right? We have seen communities in America, right? People.
Yeah.
Have those communities have. We have seen black mayors in black cities.
Right.
Black people.
Even this Memphis, where this is happening, majority are black. Yeah.
And where black people in their community, they say control their community. We kind of see that the black.
Judah, you gotta fix your audio, man.
All these things happen, so they couldn't even. Their own communities was becoming more. You saw what happened in Michigan. Communities that were controlled by black people were all in 1 second, in 1 minute, turning into ghetto. Gary, Indiana is the same thing. So look, man, look, I'm not gonna say, oh, white people are doing this, white people. The blacks should blame, they should go deep and find out what is really the problem. What is wrong with us? That is where the problem is. You cannot be calling white supremacists all the time without actually asking yourself, but why is things like this happening to me? That is what you should be talking. And not blaming on white
you see, and that's why my problem with IC3 generation, See, things you just described, Jude, right? It was happening during IC3 generation. Like, okay, when the blacks, they get together, when they come off to the community, everything, it just crumbles, nothing works. And then it's a matter of them fixing the way they think or the way they do things. And rather than that generation to be telling the next generation, like, listen, our generation, these are the mistakes we were making, right? We want you guys to change and don't think like us and do things differently. They're not going to be telling us that. What they're going to be telling us is, oh, it's the white supremacy. It's the white supremacy, the white supremacy system of this thing, ecosystem.
Right.
I'm like, come on, man.
If African American have their own country.
Is this what I'm going to be teaching do you want coming after me? Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to be doing
let's
white
talk about
supremacy.
children. You brought up the issue of the children. Let's talk about children. You brought up the issue, very serious issue of the education of the children. So,
white supremacy.
According to a parent, must educate their child about the environment that they're in order for the parent to survive and the children and the family to survive. They need to hear the truth about the environment they are living in. So if the environment is a jungle, deep in the jungle, then they tell the children the truth about poisonous snakes, poisonous frogs, poisonous plants. Yes? Animals that may look pretty and friendly but are dangerous. So they tell the children the truth about the environment in the jungle. If the family's in a desert, and you got children in the desert, you tell the children about the environment of the desert. Don't go too far from home without food, without you tell them the truth, because you'll end up dead.
Right.
You tell them the truth of how to survive in the environment. The environment that we are in is called the West. Well, a lot of us are in the West. What is the West? What are the values of the West? Is the West a violent and dangerous and hostile environment for people classified as black? If the West, the concept of the West, is a hostile environment for black people, then it makes sense to me that you should let the children know as early as possible about the
But
dangers.
that's not what you're doing, IC3. That's not what you're doing, IC3. You're not letting the children know what the danger is. Because you're telling us that the danger is white supremacy.
Hold on.
We all know the number one danger to a black
on.
person in the West is not white supremacy. It's another black person.
Well, he's saying those black people operate under that system of white supremacy. He's describing the West, what the Western blacks, their challenge is. But we will do the closing statements
Black
here.
people have their own
Hold on. We will do the closings here. Let's start with Judah. Judah, go ahead, because you already were talking.
Yeah,
you're closing.
Had their own country in talking about white supremacists controlling them.
All right, thank you, Judah. Judah, are you finished?
I asked a question. Yeah,
we didn't hear it. Your audio is messed up. Your sound is not good.
Let me.
I think you're under Mormon racism by now.
I think is that why supremacy that's causing Judah's audio to be fucked up? I mean, who do we blame for that one?
Okay, Mike, go ahead. Closing statement, Mike. Go ahead.
I would have loved this Pan-Africanist guy to really arrest Judah, because the guy uniform is something else. You know, I don't know where you're from, but man, Judah is a naughty boy. You know.
Well, IC3 will have to start coming here so he can arrest Judah. But go ahead, Mike. Closing statement, Mike.
You see, when IC3 tell me that, the system that we all operate under is designed by white people, right? And under the same system, right? I'm talking about within the countries, right? Under the system, you have Asians, you have Indians, you have Arabs, you have everybody else using the system to find their way, including me and Afridamus and you, IC3. I'm pretty sure you're a successful man. And we are finding our ways within the same system to succeed. You make a choice, either you want to win or you lose. You play within the system. So why do you keep preaching to these kids and these people that are lost and confused that their weapons that's killing them is a system, some system, and not? Say it again.
No, I said, so you're saying it's the system?
No, it's not. There's no any system. It's system. Listen, no matter if you're a man that's determined to become anything in life, you know, you want to choose your own destiny. No matter what system they give you, if you're determined to get somewhere in life, no matter what routes you have to take, you'll get there. You understand? Whether it's through the jungle or through the smooth road.
Tyre Nichols was determined to get home, but the system didn't let him get home.
It's not system. It's fellow man that made a choice.
But who made the system? Who made the system?
Listen, whether the law, whether that incident, that moment was in America, was in China, was in India, was on that black supreme system or blue system, if those cops saw that guy, they didn't like him, they just pissed off with him and they want to kill him, they would have killed him. The system didn't tell him to go kill him.
But they killed him.
They just wanted to kill him that day. That's it. So you can't blame the system for that. They didn't
Thank
that
you,
day,
Mike.
whatever frustration they had with that neighborhood, with that guy, they found that guy. Maybe that neighborhood people be shooting at them. They just frustrated with that neighborhood and they took the frustration out on that guy. So it has nothing to do with system. It was grown man consciously making wrong decision, and that's all it is.
All right,
That's all
thank
we need
you.
to talk about. Let's stop this.
All right.
It's a white supremacy thing. Come on.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. That was Mike. You heard Mike. All right, now we got Judah back. Judah, closing statement. Finish up.
Oh, my closing statement is look, black people should learn to come scenarios and certain situations, right? Because most of the time we see this often and happening. We see that majority of the things them not.
Judah, are you in a
not.
basement? Are you in a basement?
I changed situation. I'm at work.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Thing,
Well,
right?
we got your statement. You know, today things are not right, but I definitely gotta get you to call in again.
I'm at work. I'm
Yeah.
at work. So my
You're at work. You
didn't
know,
come work in.
you using up the white man's internet, huh? You see, the white man put a tracker on your internet. It's like you think you're gonna go sit on the black platform and using my internet. No.
Yeah.
Bye, Judah. We'll see you, Judah. Okay, now I see 3 closing. Then Kidola would be the one closing completely. So go ahead. I see 3.
Yes, yeah. So the solution, after all talking about the problem, the solution is for black people to realize we're in a system prison of white supremacy, and then they will stop blaming each other for what happens, and then Africa and the African diaspora will be able to unite effectively to counter the power of white supremacy.
Thank you very much, Mr. IC3.
Wait. Don't let that guy go.
Okay, I'll keep him here. I'll keep him.
Hey, let me just finish, man. My internet is not good. Let me finish.
Okay.
I'm in a sundown town, right? So
you're in a sundown town. So are you scared for your life, Judah?
No, I'm not. I'm not scared of my life. I'll be scared if I was in a gun downtown in Tennessee run by black people. So this is the thing, right? So I'm more safer in Salt Lake City, Utah, and everything is good. But this is the thing I want to tell people: blacks in particular should comply to police officers, be it black or white. This is the thing: when they wear that uniform, they have the right to pull you over and ask you to stop. And that's just it. If you comply, you will have 99% chance of living. And that's it. Thank you so much, Afridamus. And I want to thank everybody on the panel, and thank you for letting me in. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Judah. That was Judah, guys. That was Judah. Yeah. All right, Kidola, you said keep IC3. Go ahead, Kidola.
Where you from, man? Where you from? London? Where you from London?
Yeah, I'm based in London. I was born in London, but my parents are from Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, from Jamaica, but I'm born in London.
That hand glove is something else, man.
Huh?
Your hand glove is something else. It's very nice,
Yeah. So this, so this symbolizes that I'm in the prison system of white supremacy, and then this hand with the white glove shows that I'm a black man using the prison system codification to release myself.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm using the IC3. See, it's the code. IC3 is the code for black people. So I'm using their code system.
So Kidola, you are B2. Kidola, you are B2. You see?
I'm not B2.
No, see, Kidola, you're B2. See, you're not B1, but you're B2, Kidola.
Yeah, this is a British system.
I can see a B2, really.
Yeah, you're B2. You're B2, Kidola.
A B2, you know, like
Because Kidola tried to say you're on a B1, B2, or B12, but now we know you're B2.
yeah, B2, but I'm not going to be those walls at all. So what I see over there is this: if the black people don't need to blame always that they have people suppressing them, because that would drag you backward. That would drag you backward. I've never heard an Asian man or an Indian man, native Indian, or Latinos every time cry about the white supremacists always in the side. The black people have to understand they have to take their own destiny into their own hand, and they have to come together, love each other, but don't blame other people for your own problem. What you see now is what happened in the past, and that was still what's happening now, and that was still other grifters also who go on this so-called xenophobia or all kind of shit now turning the thing into like, oh, these cops are not black Americans. Where do you know they're black Americans? You understand me? They don't.
Right.
The laws are not there. They'll continue exploiting themselves just the way they've been doing. There are people in the parliament, black Americans in the law, in the Senate, in the House of Reps, and over there. They don't fight for their own interest, but they're just there to serve themselves and have a powerful health insurance and live on the powerful houses. That's just the whole thing. The normal black Americans are on the street. Some of them are fighting to get a job, and some of them are, being sacrificed. That will happen to this. It seems like an average black American will wake up one day, go out, might not even think of even coming back home. Whatever happened, it's a very painful thing. What we saw, it's a very painful something that a fellow blacks could treat on their fellow blacks that follow the same system that they all cry about our president and unleash one of the most notorious unleashing I ever seen in my life to other fellow black is the worst I ever seen. And this is going to be for a very, very long time if they don't have their hands together. But it will continue like this for some time until they finally have their heads together. Possibility through the help of the migrants that they hate, the other Africans that will come and teach them how to organize and be in one. That's just Afridamus.
Thank you, Kidola. Kidola, I see you accepted your B2 position, but thank you very much. Guys, that was Kidola and IC3. Guys, thank you for coming again. And please, make sure you like and subscribe. And, you're welcome here, IC3. Very interesting perspective.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Yeah. See you again.
All right. See you. Guys, that was IC3. Very interesting conversation, as you guys can see. But at the end of the day, you heard what most of the panelists are saying here. They said they did not see any love shown to Tyre Nichols, and what even made it sick is, what happened to him was done by other black men. These 5 people. So it is time for people to wake up and realize it's not only what you say out of your mouth. It is time for people to try to open their hearts and allow love to enter. You cannot continuously try to live in the past and use that trauma to destroy fellow man and woman. And I hope these cops, whatever they're going through and their family, hopefully, their maker or whatever they believe in, can help shine the light for them to be able to see the truth and accept, responsibility for what they did to this man. Whatever we do, all of us, we would have to face the consequences, whether it's going to be in the immediate, like right now, or later on. So I don't know what's going to happen to these cops, if they're going to get off or not. But at the end of the day, the system wins. And you guys cannot deny that. I know some people were saying they're going against what Mr. IC3 was saying, but he's got good perspective. Until next time, I'm your host, Afridamus.
I remember the days. All those years ago that never fade away. And ground, I can recall the time and place. On a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old. Back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it's